everyone, and welcome to tonight's Midnight Ranting, the Warning Signs of Judgement. That's right, where we are watching a video from the channel. James, it has been literally thousands of years. At a certain
Coming
point,
back any day now.
Any day. We're watching a video from the channel Resolved called Setting Up the New Babylon, the Warning Signs of Judgment. So won't you join James W. and myself, Amy Newman, for a time so good you would nuke like a city or two? James, it happens. What is up, everyone?
Because when your carpet has stains, you want to resolve them with Resolve. When your kid spills their juice or your pet has an accident, turn to Resolve to resolve your carpet stain needs.
It's a cleaner name than a lot of the other, random things that we get, but it has nothing to do, in my opinion, with whatever they're trying to sell, which is very much Christianity.
I mean, Cock and Balls Ministry name, I guess, was already taken, so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is the one that we're trying to make. Trademark to that and Ken Hoven. He was trying to do gravity experiments.
The Church of the Whale.
Church of the Whale. The Church of the Whale, Dick. But also sending love to everybody out there. We are Midnight Ranting on the Warning Signs of Judgment. But if you were able to help our algorithm out, we thank you for building our audience. Subscribe and then hit that bell icon to all. It allows you to see our premieres or join our live streams. Like, what is up, Fenton Mully? Woohoo! What is up, Marty Man Scientist and Slicey Slicer and Wilberforce? And Church of a Robot, and Gizmo, as we hear him, and everybody out there, Zolox, and Sumami, woo, and Amber.
Hey, everybody.
We are Midnight Ranting on, like what I was telling James, the fact that we're even going to be talking about gay marriage, which I guess... Spoiler alert for what you think this religious person is going to say is bringing in the new Babylon because of the Warning Signs of Judgment. But it's like, if you are still angry about gays getting married, I think it's more of a you thing. That's just me. But like, if Steve and Bob are getting married down the street, and you think that it is the end signs of the apocalypse,
and you think God needs to come down and kill a bunch of people because of it. You think that is the appropriate response instead of grabbing a beer from the keg or pouring yourself a shot to celebrate the wedding. No, people need to die. That's it.
Also, and I'll bring it up during the video, but I always love that they like to say how hardcore they're going by following the Bible. However, we don't want to kill them. Like, we don't want to actually follow it, but we want to be really mad about it. Super mad. We don't want to legislate it. But to be literal is to still not follow it. Now, look, I'm glad you're not following it. You would be a psychopath. You would be a murderer.
He's the mobster who gives people a stern talking to.
It's just weird where they draw their lines. And they do draw lines in their cafeteria. But James, that's why you
their
go
lines
to
are
a
not
buffet.
always straight. by the way. Just keep that in mind.
Well, not to say doth protest a little bit too much, but this is what always happens. I mean, we've been doing a little bit more content from that Ivan guy. We're probably going to do more. But I just want to say he's a snappy dresser. A very snappy dresser for a gentleman who
he always keeps himself
dislikes gays.
He's always well-groomed and, you know.
Indeed. And now, James, there is nothing that says a well-groomed man doesn't like his D sucked by a big-tittied woman. All right? I'm not saying that is not a thing. It's just a little bit weird that every single time that this happens. But, you know.
Sea Science, it's good to see you. We're kind of getting railed on the other night by praise.
Oh, my. Oh, by other Christians? Really?
Well, he's not a Christian anymore, per se.
He's not a Christian? Yes!
Praise and SFT were kind of ganging up on him in Praise's stream the other day. They were actually...
In fairness, that is basically the last of the YouTube Christian community, right? That's all that's left?
Pretty much.
The two?
The two who engage with the other side. There's lots of like Christian channels out there, but they really don't engage very much with the other side. They just kind of keep to themselves. But
I've seen Sal out there somewhere in the interwebs recently, but not as much. Their internet presence. Now, look, I got busy at work. It happens to everybody, but it is just weird to see all of these creationists
basically going into hiding, like disappearing. Like,
is it hibernation, James? Maybe just the warm weather. Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Did you send a clip to me? Oh, maybe we should monitor that or take a gander. Do because I always say that the funny thing about the Christians, the Muslims, whatever denomination, is they hate each other way more than they hate us, and so we just watch them kind of go at each other, and then whoever's left standing, they try and argue with us, but we then just point at all of the other carcasses, and we're like, but what about their gods? What about 1,407?
Sea Signs. We're usually there popping some popcorn, watching you guys try to destroy each other, and we just watch the carnage. You never know when Amy's there, because she's there about 80% of the time, lurking. She rarely will say anything.
Can I tell you why?
But she's there a lot.
It's hard to say something in specific channels, because what happens is it becomes, what is Jen's word? A Socratic gangbang. And right. I like taking on the 5 to 6 people that are in, whatever. But, sometimes you don't always want to join. But sometimes I have to. Though lately I've been getting the itch. I've been getting the itch more and more to just want to go in there. And I think James and myself are going to have to figure out ways that we can do a... undoubtedly, I can't do it. Ungay duo, whatever. Batman and Robin is.
Smokey used to do that. Sea Science. He used to randomly just start talking shit about Amy or Amy's family, and he had no idea she was even in there lurking in the chat.
Well, yes, I will say that was a little bit fantastic, and they are also, I'll say, especially people like Smokey. They are narcissists, and so they try and do character assassinations, and so a lot of times they would not come with arguments, but what they would say is, anyone that associates with this person, they're a bad person. How dare you even associate with this person? And so I think that the creation of circles are just kind of being naturally selected because Smokey's gone. You have Khalil, he's gone. I guess he's a Dawaist, but though those are on the horizon. Islam is next on the horizon. It's going to be the atheist first.
Disappeared.
Yeah, John Maddox. I don't know.
Nephilim Free is in hiding in a bunker somewhere. He hasn't poked his head out
freed
in
him.
a good while.
I think we unbanned on Tangelo. It's so funny. I was thinking exactly him.
I think he got banned again, but
I
don't see him like very often even on the other channels. There was a while where he would be on like 5 streams at once, almost like Titan. I think Titan had the record for timing Otangelo out on like 4 streams at the same time. But yeah, much quieter than they used to be.
I don't know.
Smokey is live on Praise's channel now. Wow, I did not.
Smokey.
I did not know that.
I
Peter.
did see,
we will have
and
to check that.
It's close to live. I think it's a premiere because I may actually always be lurking. Yes, it is. Yeah, right now. Yes, they are. Praise is having a premiere right now. That includes Smokey.
Is he coming out and admitting who he is, or is he still on that kind of denial bandwagon where he's not saying it's not him, but he's definitely not saying it's him? And yeah,
because the goal is always just don't admit to any wrongdoing. There are certain politicians I'm not pointing out that may also do that tactic, but I'm sure him and Khalil, even though Khalil did a plea deal, will go down saying they did nothing wrong.
Well, I mean, Amy, if it's okay for his prophet to do, then I mean, how can you blame him for it? I mean, the girls he was with were, a few years older than what his prophet was doing. So, I mean,
yes, not legal in Alabama. I would have to check depending on the girls.
I don't know anything about that, Tubi, and I don't know anything about that. I just know that he's a Ray stared offends there. From,
he wouldn't be allowed near Chuck E. Cheese. Neither would Khalil, but won't be seeing. And I don't know why. Some of the Dawaists, they must still be doing content, and so we should go on there. We should go on Hazma's Den if he's still a thing, and EF Dawa.
You'll catch up, Wilberforce.
But what is up, everyone? What's up, Titan Uranus, Urang, and Tubin, and Pieter, and Spooky. Woo!
Khalil and Oz used to be good friends, and that was one of the things that shocked me when he converted was the reasons Khalil gave for converting were not very good. They're like lower mid-tier.
It was the club.
And then he arguments.
Got to a point where he would not argue with anyone about either the Kalam unless they're religious, or he would not give specific religious arguments unless you were a theist, which kind of cuts you off at the heels. It's like,
but the thing is, like, Oz was his friend. They talked almost every day for a long time, and Oz he's more than capable of like going through arguments like the Kalam and those other type of arguments and pointing out why we don't find them to be convincing, why they're weak arguments for the existence
they're
of a
all
God.
About such sloppy language. Begins to exist is such. Get that past a physicist. Begins to exist, but of course God doesn't begin to exist, James. But of course, once it begins to exist, they at least have to grant me that everything that exists doesn't have to have a cause, because that's my little personal alarm, I guess. As soon as you have
all these arguments
that don't need a
all
cause to exist.
fallacies.
The universe doesn't
which
need
is
a cause. They're all
which is a special pleading because you're putting God in a separate category.
You are literally trying
he doesn't need to have a cause. Everything else does, but he doesn't because, well, he's just special and he doesn't need a cause. But everything else does because that's just the way it is, right?
Exactly. You have this and that really means that God is there to make us every time. God is a plot device to make us. God's just waiting. Can't.
He's an explanation.
But yes, so we'll go through this opposition viewpoint in a second. We'll go through some shout outs. No one can hide me forever. That's so Peter. I can't even tell anymore. No, something like that. That's too open. But we're sending so much love out there. There's somebody who said I looked nice and red. I forget who you are, but sending so much love to you. I see Norfolk in there. I see everybody. But this show, sponsored by so many people, I'm going to have to supercharge. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to have both a supporter show for our channel members and our Patreons. And I'm going to have to figure out something. I think I'm going to have a Patreon show once a month as well, because I need to reboost the Patreon. I'm going to be resubmitting a whole bunch of things. And I want to hit our benchmark, the original benchmark that we wanted to get at, which was 200. And so I am both going to send love out to our channel members with our evolving badge system, which triggers creationists because nothing can evolve. Though kinds can, when they talk about kinds, it is exactly creating species. They recreate species every single time. But also our Patreon.
If they do it much faster than evolution does it. They do it,
Which also makes no sense. They say, why would it happen in 4.5 billion years? No, it makes way more sense to make it in 6 days. 6 days.
Well, the biggest problem for that is their stupid Noah's Ark story, because they can't have all the animals on the ark because, well, you couldn't. It just becomes crazy. You couldn't feed them all. You couldn't take care of them all. So you have to have just 2 of every kind. You can't have 2 of every species because the numbers would just get too crazy. So you just need 2 of the kind, which is okay, doable. But the problem is then how do you go from these 2 generic cats in 200 years to all the species we have today?
So before it rained, the cats ate plants. Can we just put that out there? Before it rained a super big amount, the cats were vegetarians.
The snakes were vegetarians too. Don't ask me how that worked. I don't know, but apparently they must have been. You could just imagine a rattlesnake walking up and chewing on an apple or an orange. I mean, that makes perfect. Or maybe they just swallowed it whole. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say that anacondas are well known for liking apples. Absolutely well known. So,
You say you used to train anacondas?
What's that?
You say you used to train anacondas?
No, I say anacondas are well known for liking apples. They are well known for being vegetarians. Like
you sound like you have experience handling anacondas.
I have a little bit too much experience and getting things stuck in my throat. So both of those.
Does that happen?
Oh, we meant the other one. Oh, do you mean so both Discord.gg, politics and religion? And I wonder if the politics server is just politics, discord.gg/politics. Give me a second. Because I like debating on both of those platforms. And so, very exciting.
Well, to be fair, the science, and we've all said this before, praises free grace now, but a year ago he was making videos saying free grace is garbage. He's somebody whose theology sways quite often a lot.
Now, my
he was
warning to you
non-Trinitarian for about 4 or 5 months there, like a year and a half, 2 years ago. He was doing debates against the Trinity. He was saying the Trinity is garbage. He's going to destroy it. And then he changed his mind and became a Trinitarian again. Destroy the Trinity. Pagan.
Once again, when you're picking theology from the cafeteria, you can do whatever you want. But my warning, both politics and religion, they are like 4chan light. I love you, politics and religion, but just understand what you are getting into. I consider myself a politically incorrect. There's so many labels. You just pick the labels. Why add whatever my thing is? I can, as an atheist, I can take the waves of you're not a woman, because all of that stuff, it almost always comes. I had a guy today, and I love you. I won't even say his name, but he
what do you
basically
think the troll type.
He's a chill one that messes me. That would be. Literally, there is almost no Christians left that are evangelicalizing on. We find all these weird ass channels. Maybe this is just our debate circle that we're in, because we find these pastors that have their like buckets of people. We're gonna watch whoever this bucket is, but
buckets of fun.
But we had like a YouTube community of debaters, master debaters, if one could even say, and they seem to be not too much. Do. But yes, our Patreon, our channel membership. But we want to send love out there to all of you. We want to remind you that we are the Skeptic and Ranting channel. We are skeptic and we rant. I say forever. I'm going to update the Discord too. I am getting to it. I have months off. We're kind of off. I'm about to. Can I actually tell you,
still
James?
Teaching a unit for the summer, so.
I am. July 11th, I start not only web design, but the visualization of data. And can I tell you that I was sweating a little bit, because I'm teaching this is a grad level course. I'm going to be teaching bachelors, people who have bachelors who are going for their masters. And it's not a course I've ever taught before, but I bought this fantastic book called Better Data Visualizations, and I have been falling in love with it, because it's not about, we can talk about math, we can talk about how we get the data, but once you get the data, how are we going to convey that to the audience? And oftentimes that is a graphic design problem. That's a human problem as much as just like a higher level brain problem.
That's the quintessential thing of all teaching and education. Anybody can go up to a room and write equations on a chalkboard. That's not, I mean, anybody can do that, but it takes somebody with a special talent to be able to communicate that and make it understandable for, like, because I gave I had a high school chemistry teacher. I mean, he knew chemistry, he knew it, but I mean, he had like worked in like the chemical industry for like 30 years, and he decided to retire from that and go to teaching, but he was just writing the chemistry equations on the board. I mean, they made sense, but
this is it.
It wasn't in a way that really helped somebody understand it. It was just telling you, not teaching you, you know.
Indeed. And you have to ask yourself what your market is, because if you are going to a bunch of PhD scholars, all right, then you might want to be doing a lot of bar charts. You might want to be using a lot of decimal places. But if your audience is middle school, then you may actually want to think about what colors are going to be fun to convey your data, what data you want to exclude so that you are highlighting, so that you make it easy for your audience, and
strip it
just
down
what
to
you
the
were
minimum
saying,
necessary.
make it easy so that people who aren't experts are able to understand what you're talking about.
And I always found like for me that was like how math went. If I had a math teacher who could do that, I could really understand it and get it. But if I didn't, then I struggled with it because it was, I don't know.
I'm the same way. It is very, so when I'm interested in a topic, I'll do it the opposite. It's very hard to get me to learn a topic that I have no interest in, absolutely none. But when I'm interested in a topic, it's like Niagara Falls, and you almost can't get me to stop. And so I have to learn like some sort of middle ground, especially as we become what they call our adults.
I just
sometimes
get excited about multiplying matrices or working with fractals or anything like that.
Indeed,
it's hard to get kind of amped up about that.
I think the people who are into math, I'm the one weird person who, there are people who like math, there are people who don't like math, and that is like the vast majority of people, and there's little sliver right over here that are just okay with it. It's okay. And I think, so I thus understand, I think the people who like math, they view it like a game. And I think that the people who don't like math are being introduced and being forced to use math that they see no utility in. And so if it's not fun and you don't see any utility,
it would be like you pulling up your system and letting somebody play your Minecraft world who's never played it before. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. After about 5 minutes, they would start pounding their head into the wall, hoping they make themselves unconscious because, I mean, at least that would be stimulating. At least pounding your head in the wall is stimulating, right? The Minecraft, you're not going to get any stimulation from. It's vapid, useless.
I agree that also it's hard to sell. So like Twitch, that's what you're supposed, you just watch. You watch gaming streams. That's the whole shtick. On YouTube, most gaming streams do not have a high view count. But what I would like to do, I play Minecraft with a very specific reason. I think everyone has their own thing, but I play Minecraft for a very specific reason, and that is to build civilization from start to finish. And that is, you can take a little village thing. You can come out of the woods from fire as a cave person, find a little village, and you can take them from basically getting cotton and cows, and then you can get them to Industrial Revolution. And so I will very much probably just film me doing that while also debating creationists.
But you also,
if that's not your shtick,
civilization too. So
I love that. Also, I think helped me got. So I play Civ now when I'm also doing other stuff,
like
because
Civ
it has a turn timer where oftentimes you have minutes to a turn. So it's not just like chess where you really have just like seconds. You can sometimes have an entire minute or two where it's just like, all right, everyone else is just doing their thing. And so I sit there and I read, or I do grade, or I do something else. But it got me through politically turmoil times, because you could create your own nation and society. Oh my. Oh, video games. Oh boy. Can I tell you something? Let me do a prediction, and we'll get to, I keep on saying this is my last thing. Can I tell you what I fear? And I know you might not fear this, because maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe you'd vote for him a third time. I think I'm very scared. I think that a Republican that very much dislikes trans people is going to get voted in, or will give them that. And I think it's going to be because of me. I think it's going to be because of trans. And that breaks my fucking heart. I have literally no help. I can't undye the blue that is not in my hair or take out my lip piercing. I can't rally about family and culture and society. James, because trans people exist, I think that's going to be the wedge issue of our election, and I think it's a strong one. I think they're scared as shit right now.
I think it's going to be effective.
I think even
though it's stupid and it's blatant, it's fear mongering and the sky is falling.
None of the issues are real issues. You could eliminate all of them, and we would wake up tomorrow, and no one would give a shit. We'd still have everything else, literally every other real problem ever. Yes, I think that when I see people getting in fistfights, and I think that I hope this isn't true, but I literally saw. I think that with the Bud Light thing, it's a conservative base. But I am worried that we're going into like a culture war wedge issue where they're going to use this like a sword,
a club, yeah,
and it's going to get the worst candidate in possible. And I have no power to do anything. I can shout the message out to the hills and try and warn people.
Will that work? I mean, only time will tell. I don't think it's a viable long-term strategy.
No.
Can it be effective in the short term? Yeah, maybe. Do I think it's viable long-term? Probably not.
Because that's what happens when you cry wolf, when you say that the world is ending, when you continually say that, and then people are like, at first, people are like, holy shit, this is, oh my God, and it's disgusting, and we need to kill these people. And then they go, all right, we killed these people. And they start looking up, and they're like, but the sky is still there, James. The sky is actually came up the next day.
Well, I mean, part of the problem is that in America we have two parties, but they function more like a single party that has a right wing and a left wing of that same party. Because, and this is the crux of the thing, it's like, are the Democrats, are the people who nominally would support somebody like you, who would want you to be able to live your life and be you and not want to persecute you and restrict your access to, the gender affirming healthcare that you need. But are they really going to do anything to help your average American? Are they going to do anything to that helps people pay their mortgage, put their kids through college, that helps your average person deal with their everyday real problems? And for the longest time, they haven't been. They have kicked that can down the road. They haven't really been like Joe Biden's been in office. Has he come out with a new minimum wage bill? No, of course not. Because why would he? Because,
well, I mean, and this will also take up the oxygen. This will take up the oxygen of liberals, because liberals will have to defend whatever talking point comes out. But in the end, when they fight, after the show is done, the 30-minute block, they will have talked about nothing, like you were saying, that is going to help not only trans people, but everyone. And sending love also to, I see that a lot, before saying that unfortunately even your allies don't have a say. I 100% agree. So my plea is actually for sanity and calmness. Well, is just basically telling these people that are saying that the world is coming to an end. Now, look, the people that we're going to watch tonight, I mean, these guys have always existed. The people that have said that the world is coming to an end, and they put billboards up, and they hawk and try and get money at the bottom. Yeah, these people have always existed. But I am just extremely afraid of this upcoming political cycle because the people that press this forward don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about women or children. And they, of course, don't really care that LGBTQ get thrown out in this, are used as the bait, so to speak. And so...
cannon fodder, basically.
Yes. And I just hope it's not a person that will ruin the vast majority of our... Like it kills you on the inside. The things that they like as conservatives. Please don't ruin this nation and then send waves out through to the planet because of us lovely individuals who got our start not too recently being normalized by Jerry Springer. Like, really? That's what you are gonna... Oh, okay.
Well, so you have to look at, so how did we get Donald Trump in the first place? So obviously he's a guy who says lots of things that pretty much everybody can agree with are silly or crazy or, you know, completely out of left. He says lots of crazy stuff.
Lots of crazy
how
shit.
did we get him in the beginning? And well, the Democrat Party decided to try to cram a very unpopular candidate down the throats of people who were desperately saying, no, we don't want Hillary Clinton. And they said, too bad. You're going to get Hillary Clinton, whether you like her or not. And you know why? Because what's the alternative? What's the alternative? You want Donald Trump? No, you don't want Trump? Well, you better vote for Hillary then, even though
but to be fair,
he's not going to do anything for you.
All the other Republican candidates, why did Trump win? Let's be completely honest. Why did Trump win? Because he was on TV and he knows how to work things like being on a TV. He is a showman. And all of those and so all of those the politicians
to go there. I mean, I remember 2016. I remember I was going to a park to see my son and to play at the park with him. And I guess there was a Trump rally somewhere else in the park that day. And I saw this guy, obviously a homeless man with a backpack on. Obviously he lived out of it, but he had a car antenna. It was like the antenna from like a 1997 Chevy Lumina sticking out of his backpack with a Trump flag on it. Now, obviously, Trump is not going to do anything for this guy. He is somebody that they write off, don't care about, whatever. Homeless veteran. He's a loser. He's this. He's that. He's terrible. Whatever. That's what where he deserves to be. But at least he was able to give the impression that those type of people mattered.
A millionaire gives a shit about a whole that is another thing that kills me about him. The people that love him the most, in my opinion, he cares about the least. I think he wants to be loved by everybody, but he views himself as an elite. He doesn't view himself like he'll go like honk, 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 but he doesn't want to eat in a truck. He wants to be seen in a press jacket or maybe driving it for a little while, but he doesn't want to drive a truck for a living. He is not like...
He'll eat his Kentucky Fried Chicken, but on fine china and with
a fork and a knife.
Silverware.
Yes.
Right.
And this is... he's not anti-LGBTQ. This is what also kills me, is that, but he will absolutely give all the anti-LGBTQ everything that they want because they'll like him, because they'll say nice things about him. And so, James, it literally, if the fall of America happens because a bunch of people are afraid of transgenders. That just kills me on the inside. Like, literally, it's like the what do they call those cheap newspaper fucking things?
Tabloids.
Like, it is literally like a tabloid issue. We are going to see the fall of the country because of that. Because they're like, drag queen story hour.
So you have to juxtapose that. So you're saying, and I agree with you that Donald Trump, in his heart, he's not losing sleep if two women want to marry each other, two men. Doesn't bother him, but for political purposes, he will exploit that.
Sure.
But on the other side of the token, does the other side really care about them, or is it just that they're being played for political reasons? Both sides are playing the game.
Sure.
And well, that's what I mean. Like they thought when Donald Trump, when they had Donald Trump as the candidate, they thought like, oh, this is going to be a cakewalk. This guy is crazy. So we don't even have to like run on it. We don't have to promise anything. We don't have to tell people what we're going to do to make their lives better, how we're going to make things better for their children. No, we're not going to do anything like that. It's just we're not Donald Trump, and that's actually that's the same thing Biden ran on, and it worked that time, but it didn't work the time before that.
Sorry, I was following with that, and then I saw something that completely caught my attention. But whether politicians believe what they actually say, almost always they are just kissing butts for the attention. They go along with the party line 95% of the time. I just want the moderates to be in control. Now listen, you can sell me on why being a centrist is boring, or why that's not. I actually do take positions, and I do take this and that. It's just none of the real issues you care about are going to be talked about for a long time if this becomes the prevailing narrative, to use the word that they love to use, and I also, just another PSA, if you want to learn what they're trying to do, just listen to what they blame other people for. They want to recruit kids. They want to recruit people because they are dying out. Religion is dying on the internet. And so the one way to do that is to push your ideology on everyone you can.
As I said last time, when it was the show after when you had to leave, and I pointed out the difference, that Barack Obama, okay, he spent all this political capital to get Obamacare. He had to fight tooth and nail to the death. He came in with a huge mandate. He won with a landslide. He took the House. He took the Senate. He had more political capital than probably any president since probably Reagan in '84. And he burnt all that to get this watered-down, half-assed health care bill that the Republicans have spent years gutting. They have gutted most of the key provisions of that. They've been basically dismantling it. And the Republicans have paid zero cost politically, nothing. They have not lost one seat, one election. They have not lost one thing, because at the end of the day, whatever Obama put in place, it wasn't helping enough people to that degree to get them mad. Like, oh, I have to get out and vote to stop this because they're going to take my health care away. On the other side of that, if he had got a public option, if Obama had got a public option where people didn't have to go groveling to the private health insurance companies anymore, any politician who even mentioned taking that away would instantly lose. They would be tarred and feathered and thrown out. You could never get them to go back. No politician could ever, because it actually would help people. They would say, wow, I'm not paying all this money to a health insurance company to screw me over just when I need health care. And that's the dangerous thing politically about half measures. They're so dangerous. And politics is a game. It is a game. It's not, nobody virtually plays straight up. It's like when You remember the American Revolution, the slogan "No taxation without representation," which is because the colonies were not represented in the British Parliament, and so they were saying, "Look, we're paying taxes, but we don't have any representation, right?" And so the king and the British government, they had said, well, send some of your people over here. We'll try and hammer out an agreement. We'll try to see what we can do to work this out. And when they sent those people over there, they sent them over with explicit instructions. You take no deal. There is nothing you agree to. You're like, well, I mean, why were they doing that? They were negotiating in bad faith. They were, it's because it's a game, right? And they were playing the game the smart way. And that's because, well, if they had the ability to take a deal, then the British could have said, well, look, we get it. Yeah, you guys need representation. So we'll give you guys 10 seats in the British Parliament. And you guys will be represented. And there you go. The problem goes away. And then at that point, well, the British could still pass whatever taxes they wanted to pass because there wouldn't be enough seats to block anything. But we wouldn't have that issue anymore. We couldn't say we weren't represented because they say, yeah, look, you have representation. You guys sent representatives to Parliament. They vote. You lost the vote. Pay the fucking taxes. And,
also,
politics is a game.
I want to interrupt to say that I couldn't help it. I saw that C-Science said that they got their mod ship taken away in SFTs and praises and are demoted. And so with that, I am gifting you mod ship. Welcome to the C-Science. Because Rachel was always like, you're a troll, you know that? And I'm like, I'm not a troll. I will say there might be evidence that there might be.
I want to remind you.
I like to do kind trolling though.
That we did give C-Science mod ship before, but I did have to go in and take that away because he was abusing it. So,
well, I will say that is always with our Lord and Savior, our admin, Titan, your anus. And I will say, and I'll send love. The only thing you have to do to truly be a mod of the Skeptic and Ranting community is be a part of the Skeptic and Ranting community and want to be one. And so that means that welcome to the team as well, Big Bad Mama. I will say, as a moderator, I will pay you double what I was paying you before. Just like I now pay Titan triple what I was paying him before. So welcome. And yes, there's pizza somewhere. Anyway, sending so much love to everybody. We are Midnight Ranting, and something like that on the Warning Signs of Judgment. Well, it's just, James, this is all they do is talk about, they talk about how we bring up identity politics and how we bring up all of this, first of all, they talk about butt stuff in every anti-gay thing. It's very odd how much they love talking about butt stuff. But that's all they do is talk about it. All they are obsessed about is sex. But it's not surprising because their text is obsessed about sex.
Well, look at their browser history. That'll tell you everything you need to know.
Indeed. And speaking of which, all right, we'll do our shout-outs. I think we're halfway through them. Skeptic and Ranting too. Yeah, that's right. You can join our channel membership right there, that big join button. It helps us, but then you get our evolving badge system. The longer that you're with us, the more that it'll actually evolve. Different icons and sending love to, as well as our patrons, patreon.com/Amy Newman. Chris Disciple sending so much love. He sends us love. Chris. We can get lots of theists as well as Christians, Muslims, Jews, as long as you have doubt. I will say it's always funny when they ask, well, can you even believe in 1%? Could there be any, your mind be even open, James, to God even being real? And if we say no, we're completely convinced. I think most of us are 99%. But even that when we say 99, sometimes I'll have people say, oh, why should I even talk to you if you're 99%? But then I say, well, how convinced are you that God exists? So like 100%.
120,
like, oh,
150%.
150, man. You're like, okay. It's a Coca-Cola commercial or a Gatorade commercial.
I know God like I know my wife or my child. Like, that's how intimate my relationship is. And well, if you're ultimated, then that literally is true, that you have that level of intimate relationship as you would with your spouse.
I think about him sometimes. I think, is that really a human being that has a sexual relationship with God? The planet's big enough, right? There's a lot of humans on the planet, right?
I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, today, is ultimated giving it to God, or is God giving it to ultimated? Because remember, they switch.
I know.
They
James.
Go back, they go back and forth.
Sometimes
some days he
God
fucks
puts
God,
on the
some
strap
days
on.
God fucks him.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
it's mutual.
You wonder, like, what they're doing, what day today is for them too. Them two crazy lovers.
That'd be a weird thing if you want to have a threesome. Now listen, Becky, look, you were great. I met you at the bar. You seemed like fun at karaoke. But I said I wanted you to meet my partner. So, this is God. I know. But, like, I didn't know if you'd be okay with, like, an older partner. She's been around since existence. And she has hobbies. And I say she, but apparently it's a he. Genderless, really. Are you into
no genders, all
genocidal
genders
maniacs?
at the same time?
Exactly. No, all really. Are you okay with partners that have kids? As in the creation of everyone?
He's both Elliot Page and Dylan Mulvaney at the same time.
Oh.
Yeah, Caitlyn Jenner too at the same time. And he's neither of them as well.
I like South Park's rendition of Caitlyn Jenner. Anyway. She's
a controversial figure in the trans community because she's one of you guys, but she not always very friendly. She is right of center, which, look, you could be right of center and be transgender, but
you definitely can.
Apparently so, but it is kind of weird listening to a trans woman talk smack about other trans women for being trans women. It's a little unusual, but hey.
About talking. Oh, I'm not talking smack about her being transgender. I am just roasting her for the fact that she generally takes views that are anti. Well, no, I will say. I mean, have you ever seen? And wait, and when I say the, have you ever seen her rendition on South Park? Before you say, I mean, it's not really me that's making fun of her as much as South Park.
You're going to ask if I've seen 99.7% of South Park. I haven't seen.
Well, that's right. We can only pay like
roasted.
I would say, ooh. I can only share so much energy.
Frankly, make me want to puke. Now that I'm principal, I'm not going to allow anyone in this school to make me feel unsafe and harassed. You'll have to excuse my language. It comes out of people.
PC principal.
You like that?
Oh yeah, here's Caitlyn Jenner.
Buckaroo.
Yeah, so that's just all I'm imitating. But I mean, like, going like that. That is South Park's imitation of Caitlyn Jenner.
It didn't come up for me, but maybe my computer. So.
Oh, it did. You don't see it?
I didn't. Maybe they do. Now I do.
It did. And then she just ran over a person. I guess that's why also they don't like her. She got charged for killing a person. She did.
She really had a
got off
homicide?
Let's see if if the person actually died. She did hit someone. Did they die? I don't know. Let's see. Kim Howie, the driver of Lexus, was hit by a Hummer and traveling late. They're suffering.
Caitlyn Jenner driving a Hummer.
Oh no, but Howe was killed. Okay. Yes.
They did die?
Yes, they did die. But that's okay. Rich people have lawyers. I'm sure she'll be okay. She is okay. She got off with it.
No charges. No.
Will not be charged. No.
Maybe just an accident
then. So yes, I roast her, and I guess the reason, just lovingly. Anyway, that's Caitlyn Jenner stuff. See, we're going back into tabloid stuff herself, though. I can't help it, though. Sending love. There's our lovely chat. Sending love, chat. How are you? All right, that's enough of that. Yes. We are Midnight Ranting on the Warning Signs of Judgment because this guy decided to make an anti-gay video and say that it's the end of the world. It's Satan, ladies and gentlemen. It's always Satan.
If you guys remember, we did a interview with him last stream. Interview with Lucifer last show.
Do you promise to be a good mod, Subarus Forevers? That's my contract. I just made a contract. Right there. Sending so much love also to Dale Pastel as we look for empirical evidence. So much empirical evidence. We haven't found any. All right, you convinced me. He said he would be a good one. Be the best? Oh my God, I'm going to hold you to that standard now. Be the best there ever was. To hold them is my real test. To train them is my cause. I'll tell you, there's less people to mod because they're the creationists. That's another thing. They do not like people that disagree with them either. They're not really big. Like, they probably demoted you and C-Science, you said you were being a little bit potty mouth, but that's understandable sometimes. But, like, was it because you disagreed with them? Like, is that the main thrust of why? Is, like, you no longer agree with their theology, and so they're like, well, you're a heathen! Because I find that's generally how religion handles disagreements. That tends to be
about his theology and his nuanced views on the Bible and everything.
And no, Spooky, your grandfathered in. You just keep on doing you. I love Spooky because I get to see him every once in a while on other streams as well. Saying hi. I see lots of people here. I see Doorknob Head in other streams. I see Big Bad Mama, who took away C-Science Films on her channel, on the Praise I Am That I Am channel.
Well, there you go. Praise he's quick with that because she's in his stream, so he's doing both. He's streaming and being Big Bad Mama. So.
It is. It's hard. But also sending love to James Wolfe. Sending love. We do late streams. We're going to be doing late streams. I think what I also want to do is I want to figure out if it's either it's going to be Skeptic or Ranting, or I would like to make a show, James, that is very strictly from like the 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. slot. Like what would be like a hot slot for like network television, so that if we ever go in and we ever have to do like weekday shows, we kind of have like a slot that people are used to and an audience expects. And thus, because I think that's why we have a pretty good audience midnight right now because we've done a lot of midnight streams. But I think if we do a lot of 7:30, a lot of 9 or 9:30, you do a lot of those streams, people will expect, hey, they do streams at 9, they do streams at midnight. Let's come at the... Does that make sense?
Yeah, and as you guys, as everybody knows, Titan is our head mod for the chat. So
is our lovely admin.
Listen to his guidance on using your mod powers, and if you abuse it, if he recommends you be demodded, we probably will demod you. So.
Yeah, he's a good guy and keeps us all TOS in line. Because we are a little bit potty mouthed. Though if you get a little bit of alcohol in Titan, I'm sure he's a little bit looser too. Just like send love to Pat out there. I always love watching people who are like academic get loaded. That is just the most fun. Like,
draining.
I'm gonna go to an archaeological dig. I'm gonna grade papers. But you know what? It's the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. So tonight I'm drinking.
Drain every single beer keg in Scotland. It's a challenge, but
indeed, hot slot. Got that hot slot. Yes. What were we talking about? Love to people, sending love to Senator Cato, sending love as the separation of church and state. It just tends to be kind of nifty. I don't want to be, but when I do, I drink Dos Aquinas. Woo! I just see a sea of blue now. Just a sea of blue. I'm sending love to all our moderators and non-moderators.
Amy doesn't always
everybody,
but when she does.
But also sending love to the fabulous, the lovely, one and only, my heart, Rachel Holen. So much love as she reminds us that we don't like taking slaves from the nations around you. It's kind of a, as they would say, an objectively dick move. But we could like invite femboys over, tie them to our bed.
I mean, how many femboys can you fit in that house, Amy? I mean, what's the capacity there? You don't want the fire marshal to come out and say, okay, you've got too many femboys in here for fire.
We've actually had a fire marshal, but it turned out that he was shirtless and suspenders, and he was just here to put out the fire that was in our pants. James.
You had to pump that stuff to put the fire out, huh?
Had to put that fire. He had a hose that we had to grab to help him put out the fire.
Did you help him?
Oh, we helped him. Sending love to Rachel. Sending love to Davegar, reminding us of the separation of church, but how thick that earth is. Just the fact that we like our earth kind of round. And if you think the Earth is 6,000 to 10,000 years old, you're in a cult. You are in a actual cult. Like, I don't know what else to say. They hate when I use the C word. But like, if your belief system puts you up against all of modern day science, you may be in a cult. Maybe.
Wow. It's like the flat earthers, like Dr. Tony, the seismologist, said if you went to a party and said you're the best fighter pilot, the best sprinter, the best Olympic gold medal winning gymnast, you're the best MMA fighter, you're the best basket weaver, you're the champion chess player, you do all that, but you can't provide any evidence of any of it because they don't let you compete because you're too good. They won't. You can't do MMA fights because you're too dangerous for the other fighters. They won't let you fly the planes because they're afraid that you'll shoot every other plane down.
James, just too good. But also sending
too good for science.
Too good.
Science can't handle
Can't handle him in the lab.
Rebel and Nathan Thompson.
Well, once again, these creationists, they need to join the channel so we can set up debates. Rah, 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 rah. Sending love to Emily as we are reminded that, once again, I mean, that's I guess the point of this episode is that they are so triggered of our existence, the LGBTQ, that they think it's the end of the world. Literally the end of the world. Not to be dramatic or anything.
Not at all.
Not at all. Like, oh my god. I don't want to say that, like, gays are going to bring the downfall of society, but, like, gays are going to bring the downfall of society. Okay, Becky, we get it.
Look what happened at Sodom. God,
I know.
all those people. He fucking nuked the bitches.
They bring this up in this video a lot as if, like, this is supposed to be a loving point. He nuked an entire city because they were doing the naughty.
He roasted those fags.
I want to do a whole bit about that word because I use that personally, but I feel like it's in a playful way. I want to do like a whole thing about it.
Well, they certainly don't mean it in a playful way.
No, they certainly don't. Though the only ones that mean
Fred
it
Phelps.
still harmfully.
Because if you look in the dictionary, the word fag means like a stick that you would gather for. Yeah, it's a stick you would
Sometimes
gather for,
they do this, the cigarette, but okay.
For lighting a fire. And so Fred Phelps used to say, well, I mean, that's a perfect word because God's going to burn them all in hell. So they're like firewood to burn in God's hell.
Yeah, because they need their imaginary threat system, which is the lamest way of threat. What a bitch way of making a threat. Oh, I can't do anything, but like when you die, you'll tell it.
God is like, so going to burn your ass. He is going to roast your ass forever.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
Can I talk to you, man?
It's the Karen way. Also, and this is my last way I'll bring up, but every single one of the modern issues that we're going to, I call them this is the Karen era of issues. There are no real issues. There are, can I speak to your manager of issues? I literally, every single one of them. You will not hear about taxes,
in the ladies'
selection
room,
cycle.
and I don't know if they have a penis or a vagina. I didn't look, but they look kind of masculine, and I don't know. I didn't feel safe going in the bathroom, and I'm just very concerned about it. And what can you do for me? And
James, how can we raise kids in this society?
Is this really what you want to have? You really want to have people going in the bathroom without the right genitalia? What's next? People fucking dogs and cats, and
which is what they always go to. It is going towards. They always go. The two groups that cannot consent are the next groups, which are other animals and children. Which,
you want to fuck a goat next? I mean, come on. That's where this is going.
Exactly. Which, once again, who are the people who not only made that illegal, but put laws in place and then made labor and basically made childhood, made an actual childhood. Who made children? Because before, they were just small little workers that kept on popping out. Modern society, the liberal word.
I mean, the gay, they don't have children, so you can't give them credit for that because they don't have children. I mean, come on. They can't breathe. They have to recruit.
Oh, exactly. They have to recruit, which is 100%. Once again, we've actually been around for 4.5 billion years. Or no, sorry, 4.5. That would actually be. I retract that. Well, I guess we have. You consider living because there. I don't think there was gay single cellular life. As funny as that would be, but no. As long as there has been multicellular life, there has been gays. Yes, as long as there have been animals, there has been gay animals. But I'm sorry, Wilson. So about 2 billion years, probably. I'm sorry, Wilson. Jesus Christ walks into a hotel, hands the innkeeper 3 nails, and asks, "Hey, can you put me up for the night?" That is a classic right there. And I always get that joke wrong, so thank you for actually typing it out. And he also says bonus points. Is it from a movie? All I know is that is a classic right there. Thank you so very much. I'm sorry, Wilson. And they always love jokes like these because they're like, God will not be mocked. And then we mock him. It's kind of a weird cycle. It's actually quite easy.
He makes it so easy.
Karen? What do you care in? I do feel bad for women named Karen.
Yeah, just like Felicia.
Indeed, just like Felicia's.
Bye, Felicia.
I'm sure there's a very nice guy named Chad out there. All right? I'm sure.
Every time you... Oh, fuck. You see who just popped up inside chat?
Rebel. Atheist, my logic and rationale originated from illogical and irrational. I don't think that's what we said at all. Okay. Anyway, we love you, Rebel. We love you. You were on here cooking a steak shirtless for an extremely long amount of time. But who doesn't
probably
love
still
cooking
cooking it?
Oh my God, Rachel bought steaks tonight. James, maybe her and I should come on here shirtless cooking steak. Well, our subscribership would probably go up a lot.
Definitely.
Anyway, sending love to Emily, sending love to our 3 commander top tier, sending love to Regos, reminding us that we have a skeptic Bible study. We are knee deep in Joshua. We're probably gonna have to do a Bible study this week, James.
Yeah, we're
kind of on the docket. And so sending so much love to Regos and to Moses, who's in the grave. Moses is dead as a doornail in the text because he didn't exist. But sending love to Regos, sending love to Matt Deig, reminding us that, we actually have theories. And if you say it's just a theory, you probably just need to just take a science class. We actually know how planets form and solar systems form.
It is impossible for a star to form because gravity do not act on gases.
Okay, Sinister. You got me there. That would be funny.
You cannot weigh a gas. They do not have weight, even though you can.
Oh my goodness, the flat Earth.
You can measure an empty container with gas and then measure full of gas, and it will weigh more with gas in it, but you still cannot weigh gas.
But you can weigh the soul leaving the body, James. Okay, you can't.
Well, you know what I thought was funny though? If you take the Eiffel Tower, all that iron and steel that went into making that, if you just put like a glass case around it, then the air inside of it would actually weigh more than the metal of it, which I've heard before, which I thought was pretty. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Because gravity does act on gas.
I'll tell you why, Rebel. Because it was an extremely buff man, shirtless, cooking a steak. So we're skeptical.
You got Amy turned on. She was hot and she was getting steamy under there.
I mean, Rebel, if that's you,
all dark and handsome,
just a 30-second looping clip that you had that wasn't, then I mean, I would say come on the stream more. I mean, shirtless making steaks.
If you want to ride the girl deck, if you want to ride the girl deck, Rebel, you got a ticket, basically.
That's right. You had like dreadlocks and but you were like racked, like
jacked, like Mary Baxter's version of pizza.
So and I'm not hating. I like a good guy's chest. I like one where I could put an ice cube down. Just put my finger. What are we talking about?
The pectorals. Like
Anyway,
the version of Jesus, you know. I mean, he was like 6'3". He was ripped.
Yes, that guy.
He had muscles. He had long,
really white
hair.
for some reason in the Middle East. But
Mary, is this Jesus or is this just your like fantasy guy?
That is her Tinder profile wish list. Oh, being bisexual is amazing. What's wrong, Rebel? ... It's okay. Look, if that's you, I'm sure Rachel and I, all three of us could set something up. Our steak was a 4-pack. Come on now.
I don't know if you can handle 2 girl decks at the same time. That might be.
I don't know. It might be. That it might tip over.
Like the island that the congressman saying that if too many people got on one side of an island, it would capsize.
Politicians really are the gift that keeps on giving. Now, yeah,
and this is why we can't solve global warming or universal health care, because they think if too many people go to one side of an island, it'll capsize.
I was completely apathetic about voting until he who may not be orange named. What's up, in time, on time?
Out of time.
Out of time. But I have come to learn, and this is all the vastly wise things I say are from other people. But if you don't care about politics cares about you. I have come to learn, and so I vote because it's the only lever that I have, and so I can't say that I didn't. But yes, I mean, it often is, you know, which bucket of the Uniteam do you want to vote for? I understand that. However, one party right now has made a deal with the devil that I do, the metaphorical one, and that is with the religious. And so I'm just afraid of that element moving forward because there's multiple. Would I be afraid of President Mitt Romney? No, I would not. Would I be afraid of President Chris Christie? No, I would not. Am I afraid of a President Donald Trump or a Ron DeSantis? Yes, I am, because they are trolls. Trump, and they all, and even Ron DeSantis. I'm not sure which evil I kind of want to give in. It would want to give into because they're just. Both of them I dislike as human beings. Ron DeSantis, I think he doesn't like gay people. That's why he does the things that he does, and he gives it to his base. Trump doesn't fucking care. If his accountant is a fucking, he doesn't care. He'd say, that's nice. Don't suck a dick while you're getting, while you're counting my numbers. And so it's complicated, but
I don't know. I think DeSantis is a lot closer to Chris Christie than probably Donald Trump.
Well, I think that Trump is going to get it.
I think the anti-gay stuff is more like politics of opportunity.
I hope you are right.
Real conviction that I don't think Ron DeSantis is up worried at night in his bed, afraid because 2 women want to get married to each
Not
other.
Afraid, but do you think he thinks that it is moral that 2 men get married and that he would work to undo that if he could?
I think Chris Christie probably doesn't think it's moral, but he probably thinks that it's.
See, I think that if you were to ask him, he may say, well, his religious beliefs may take him over here, but he would vote. I don't know. I think he's much more moderate. I view Chris Christie as a northeastern Republican, a little bit more purplish because they have to be. And maybe that's just me putting it in there. I know Florida sometimes could be.
Chris Christie, very bombastic and very aggressive in certain ways, but
sure, but
policy-wise, not too extreme.
Much more moderate. And now I'm worried about Trump because I think he would destroy paint with his breath. Many of our norms and institutions. I think he would pardon himself. I think he'd do all sorts of weird shit. I think he'd be friends with our enemies with our friends. I think that, and I really do. I really do.
Would he stop the war in Ukraine? Yeah, he would. He would stop sending weapons over there. If you think that, and we should keep sending weapons over there, I mean that's it's a dicey situation. But yeah, if you think that war needs to go on until we grind Russia into the,
I think it's worth support. You were roboting a little bit. No, it's still. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm sorry. We're just taking a break just because it was roboting pretty bad.
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
I say, if you think we need to keep sending, yeah, I do think he would stop that. If you think that would be horrible, then yeah, he probably would do that.
And yes, he is in the election. He is running.
But realistically, I don't think Trump has any chance of winning this election. Does he have a?
Think will win?
Yes, probably.
You think it'll be DeSantis?
I mean, if I had to make a guess, probably, yeah. But it's so wide open at this point. But
you know why? Do you know why I think it'll be Trump?
Why?
For the same reason that he won the primary. Is just none of them are famous. They're just not celebrities. And we are the reality television country. And maybe Ron has a little bit about that. I still think that, and it's not because I want him to, because I think he's literally a threat to our country. Because and not for his views, not for any particular views that he holds. Because I don't think he holds many particular views. Does it benefit me or does it not benefit me? Does he like me? Does he not like me? Whatever. We're politics, schmolitics. It's just my warning, folks. I warn you to our LGBTQ people, to our LGBTQ allies. Please, if you have one message that I could send out into the world, it is that the world is not ending. That drag shows are not the end of democracy as we know it. That you can't actually recruit, because the phrase I hear now is, I was fine with them until they started coming for our kids. I mean, but that's the line they use on blacks and gays and trans, and now trans again. Somehow it became trans again because things were actually cooling down. I sometimes feel like I'm hallucinating, and yet every person that was LGBT or is LGBTQ or is a family member of LGBTQ or has been debating this, it's getting crazier. And it's getting crazier because they picked it as an issue. But now they're just picking crazy shit that they just made up.
Well, Nick is right. People did say in 2016 he didn't have a chance. I mean, you have to look at that election. That was like a perfect storm of circumstances that all converged.
16 candidates, just like what will happen
to make
now.
That very improbable result happen. And that'll be studied in political science courses 1,000 years from now, how that happened. But even last election, they still ran the same playbook they ran in 2016, and they won. The same playbook. Don't tell them don't promise anything, don't say anything. Just, we're not Donald Trump, and Joe Biden won. So that That's what Hillary Clinton tried. She didn't do it because she was, I think, too toxic of a person. She really, nobody liked her, but Biden didn't quite have that same amount of people that were just negative towards him, turned off by him, and so it ended up working out. And we'll see whether that's a one-off or whether he comes back. I don't think he's coming back. I don't even think the Republicans want him back. Well, I don't think they wanted him to begin with, but I think they would be more aggressive in terms of preventing him from trying to get the nomination than maybe they were before. I think last time everybody just kept thinking he was a joke. They didn't think they would need to really take action to stop him. Unlike the Democrats, who, I mean, they took decisive action to stop Bernie Sanders. They did that right away, and they, because they made the decision. Look, we would rather have Trump than Bernie Sanders because the Democrats are closer, and honestly, economically, the main base of the Democrat Party is closer to Donald Trump than they are to Bernie Sanders, which is not where their base is at, but that's
it
where
also
they,
depends on the egos, because I think you had people like Pete Buttigieg, who was in leading, who stepped out of the race because I believe they were asked to and said they were going to be given a position. And they do have a position. Now, look, I love Pete. I think he's a great guy. I think Joe Biden is okay. I'm not excited. I wasn't excited to vote for him, but I was excited to vote against
Trump.
Trump.
That's the thing. He didn't run on anything. He basically ran. His slogan was "I'm not Trump," and he won.
But I'll tell you, I will vote if Trump is the nominee. Well, I'm going to vote no matter what. I've learned that you kind of have to, but I will.
Well, I mean,
Big
Bad
Mama, and wait.
She did, but both candidates know the rules before the game,
and so do I.
You know, in terms of like the election, yeah, it doesn't matter how hard she spikes the ball in California.
I'll be right.
With
in
that
fact,
popular
James,
vote.
I'll be right back. I'll use this while we're doing that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how hard she spikes that ball in California. If she doesn't perform well in some of the other states, then you don't win. And they pay top dollar to have these consultants and campaign managers who know how this works. They just ran an incredibly toxic candidate, and they ran her on nothing. Nothing. She ran on absolutely nothing other than "I'm not Trump." She didn't tell anybody what she would do to help anybody. Just "I'm not Trump." Stronger together. I'm with her. Just these cliche slogans that don't mean anything to anybody. Yeah, but I remember talking to one of my bosses back in 2015 about it, saying about the Bernie or Bust movement, and he's like, "Well, you know, sometimes you might want a steak, but you have to settle for a hot dog," and that's the thing. As long as you keep settling for that hot dog, as long as you keep taking that, they're never going to put anything else on the plate. If you'll take just whatever slop they'll throw at you, then, well, hey, you'll never get anything better. They'll always give you the bare minimum, and we saw that last election cycle with Elizabeth Warren, who is a progressive person who has taken progressive positions in the past, but when it came time to run for president, she pivoted to all these social issues because at the end of the day, they're free. They don't cost the wealthy anything. The Koch brothers don't care about anything like that. And that's the thing, Nick. That's what they tried in 2016. They said, look, this is Trump. He's crazy. Why would we go and promise more than we need to win? Hillary Clinton, don't say anything. Just go out there with these cliche focus group approved slogans that don't actually mean anything, but you're still not Trump and you'll win. Well, due to a unique conglomerate of circumstances, that didn't happen. Biden did the exact same playbook, and it worked out for him because, well, Trump had been president for 4 years, and the media had been, basically destroyed whatever clout he had, and it worked for him. But they're going to try the same thing again. I guess it depends on who the other side is going to put up. I really don't see it being Trump. I don't see that. It definitely was Harry. Trying to figure out who's going to be the next person after Biden on the Democrat side. Who is that next rising star on the left going to be? That's the real open question right now. Seems to be they're going to be moving away from these kind of dinosaur-esque people like Biden, elderly people who've been in Washington for 60 years. Oh yeah, Biden's running again. I mean, I don't think a president has not ran again since Lyndon Johnson did it in '69. Kamala Harris, I mean, she has like the exact same problems Hillary Clinton had. She has the problems of authenticity and just lots of people don't like her. She doesn't really stand for anything. She doesn't really believe in anything. She just is. She's a Hillary Clinton's not a politician. She doesn't believe in it. Doesn't care about anything. She just sticks her finger up to the wind, and wherever the wind is blowing, that's where she'll go with it. Which is how Bill Clinton ran his presidency. Why he was so popular. Just whatever the polls said is what he was for. I guess there's something to be said for that politically. She is. Kamala Harris is funny. And, I bet if she was not a politician, so politician-y, if she were just running from her heart, like what she internally really believes behind all that politics, she'd probably be pretty good. It's just politics gets in the way of all that. AOC, yeah. So, I mean, there's this effect that they all talk about, like once you get into Washington, where you kind of become like part of that crowd, that group, where you're, you may go to Washington progressive, but once you get there, you're there a few years, you kind of moderate out. You become like Hillary Clinton. Like, remember, Hillary Clinton was in '93 when she proposed that single-payer health care bill before Congress, and they roasted her for that. They racked her over the coals for that. And but in '99, she ran for New York Senate. She won that seat. And then within a few years, she was part of the Washington establishment. I don't really see that the same way with AOC. The question is, does she have enough clout to become a national figure, like presidential-wise? I don't know about that. But
and I think it'll be Pete. I think Pete Buttigieg will be the next big thing, because I think he was going to win the election last time.
Really? What makes you say that?
Because he is young, he is personable, he is able to connect decently with both blue and white collar I think that also the way that we go is we tend to. Well, we didn't get the first woman president, did we? But I think that it'll be maybe Kamala. I think it'll be Pete. I think it'll be these up and coming names that you have. It'll just go head to head with.
Buttigieg, he got hit from both sides last time. He was they were running against him. They used to call him Mayo Pete because he's so white, which he is. But you know what? So is Joe Biden. So there you go.
But he was he's gay, but he's a veteran. It's a mix that I think he'll sell as purple.
I don't see anybody really getting excited to go out and vote for him. He seems pretty blasé, pretty just run of the mill. But I mean, does he have a shot? Yeah, he has a shot. He could become a viable candidate.
And all right, with that, we are going back to I don't know which is crazier because we politics or religion, but we generally talk about religion. We're going back.
Yeah,
it's funny. I see
political commentators. It is once in a. Sometimes we have to. We have to
because
go there
it's part of life.
You can't avoid it.
You can't avoid what what our opinions are, what we think about things, and sometimes religion necessarily makes itself political. The evangelicals want to make it political. The Muslims say, or the Dawaist Muslims say that it's political, and so we have to go over issues like warning signs of judgment, which of course, in the eyes of the super religious, is gay marriage. Oh, the signs of New Babylon are here because we have some dude marrying a queer. The funny thing about being able to marry someone of the same sex, the religious people, just like that fiery little redhead in college, only want to talk about butt stuff. However, for most gay men and women, what it means is two people coming together. So that statistically, in a few years, the breadwinner loses 50% of their stuff. I'm just kidding. But that one was happening before us, okay? Anyway, marriage is about two people who love each other coming together to make a family.
No, it's a man and a woman. One man, one woman. That's all it's about.
Not Adam and Steve. It could be, though. The word family. The word that religious folks give lip service to, which is odd because oral is a form of sodomy. But realistically, the religious are not always pro-family. They're pro their type of family.
Attempted sodomy? What?
James, 30 more seconds, a minute, a weekend with a good pack of cigarettes. I know, baby girl. Penelope also says hi. She's down there. Do you want to say hi?
In a little bit.
But realistically, the religious are not always pro-family. They're pro their type of family. If you look like them, act like them, and follow God's rules, then you're not bringing forth the destruction of society. Yet when I hear the warning signs of judgment, all I see are judgments from people who want to put their personal religious belief systems above everyone else's. Even when every empirical data point we have showing signs of humanity coming together tends to make us more decent human beings. Thank you. Woohoo! And all right. With that, actually, do you want to have anything? I shouldn't just jump to it, James.
Let's just go right into it.
Gotcha.
We've flapped gums enough.
And what is up, Pat? Go to sleep. Well, I'm wishing everyone a good sleep, and I hope we're tucking everyone in bed. But I will say, what we're going to be doing is possibly naughtier, because we have, if I can find it, That's funny. I have the Vought International. You should. You're not a big superhero fan, are you, James?
I just haven't seen all the movies and everything.
You should check out a series called The Boys.
The Boys? What is it on?
Yes. It is on Amazon. In fact, if you have Amazon Prime, I think you get it for free.
I don't have Amazon Prime, but...
Don't. Okay. Well, you can still watch it on Amazon. And
I do have a pirate service that I pay for that it might be on.
There you go. Not that we are suggesting anyone use a pirating service, however.
Amy is very respectful of coprit holders.
Exactly.
I'm not as much.
James, I used to BitTorrent and Tor and all this stuff, but what happens is, like, each teacher gives in fucking media school gives you the same spiel, and they spill it into you, and I've come to have an appreciation.
For me.
I know. I'm a gray hat now. I used to be not as much, but now I pay for things. I bought the intro to this timer that everyone's lovely listening to at this intro.
$89, 10,000 channels for a year. You can't beat it. I mean, you're gonna pay $120 a month to Comcast for that.
Yeah. But sending love to all the people that give us all support, all of our channel members, all of our super chatters, all of our Patreoners. That helps us support the show, make great content, and make all of the production values happen. But with that, let's get into it. We are setting up the new Babylon, the Warning Signs of Judgment. Dun, dun, dun. I love this. He says this while being on media. What do you think this is? Like, are you on a island just screaming this out through a funnel? The media will try to silence this channel because we refuse to bow down to their gods and compromise. Instead, we continue the fight, raging on. We fight the good. You can't even, like a Mighty Python fucking opening. The good fight of faith. For the righteous are as bold as a lion. Like, I could completely imagine just after this, just two coconuts running by. But okay.
Marriage should be defined as a relationship between a man and a woman.
So there you go.
Say you. Well,
right out of
That's
the
good to
gate.
know.
Like right out. Once again, it does feel like we're doing more identity politics stuff. We're doing more support of LGBTQ and support of our allies, sending love out to you too. And yet, what the hell is with you religious people lately? Like, this has been over for a while.
Why don't I see Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson on my screen right now?
It is. This entire video just has like 2000, 2007 like vibes.
Yeah, I
Sending
need to
no
see Vince
love.
Vaughn and Owen Wilson crashing somebody's wedding just to abuse the open bar.
Now, here's what we need to ask ourselves. If we're here in Genesis chapter 19, and we talk about the judgment of God.
Why does it sound like Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Judgment of God.
Is this AI? I
want to know why it sounds like he's far away. Why does it sound like he's like?
Well, to be epic, to sound like it's epic, I guess maybe. I don't know. It sounds like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
On Sodom and Gomorrah, as a reminder for all people of all times about the holiness of God and about the righteousness of God.
So righteous, so holy.
Come to a place where we so openly and so readily accept this abomination.
I like how the background footage is basically, I know it's private, but everything that he shows is almost just people just having a good time. Just, yay! Yay!
There has been compelling evidence of life manifestations, especially in this
alive! Yay!
with a strong upswing of perversion, openly accepting the things God calls an abomination.
Yes, I know. But that was a book from 3,500 years ago.
And this is what they don't get. It's not that people don't know what your book says or what your God preaches or advocates for. No, it's a wholesale rejection of it. We hear you. We understand you. We know what you want. We're saying no.
We think it's nonsense.
Yeah, what you're saying is stupid.
The biblical definition of marriage has been redefined, normalizing isolated and disgusting.
Yeah. First of all, it's been a legal marriage for a little while now. But yes, because it's been a legal marriage, legally gay people.
What the Bible says, biblical.
Yes. If you don't want to have a gay marriage, once again, I know this phrase has been done to death. However, it's just so true. Don't get a gay marriage.
Yeah. If you think it's an abomination, don't do it.
Exactly.
Nobody will force you to marry another person of the same sex.
God's judgment on Sodom and Gomorrah has been desensitized and publicly parading their filth.
Also, publicly desensitized even by this. These guys who I think it's like one guy and then it will go into another and another. But like none of them have the actual balls, though, to say, hey, it's the Old Testament rules. It says we're going to stone gays to death. Therefore,
it does get to that.
I'm going to stone. And you know what? It pisses me off because he does and he doesn't. He says, look, all of you liberal churches, you're all getting all friendly to all of it. But you know what? He's not going to stone gays. He has liberalized. He's going, ooh, it's icky. We want it to be icky, and we want it to be. Want you to feel icky about it too. But they're not killing people because that would be terrible, and they'd go to jail. Both of those things. If the first one doesn't convince you, the second one hopefully does.
In the open streets, half naked and utterly shameless.
Have you ever been to a beach? Like, okay. Once again, even in this, you're not showing half-naked people. All of these people, once again, I'm sure you could find LGBTQ people having a great time, not showing a lot of clothing. Oh, but my goodness. Everything he just shows here is just people having a great time.
Did you see the T girl that they banned from the White House for flashing her tatas on video? Did you hear about that?
I did hear about that.
Yeah, I saw the video on
which she should. If you shouldn't. Well, here's two things that I have to say to that. If you are liberal, you should want her to be banned because you shouldn't flash your breasts at a thing. If you're conservative, or I shouldn't say that, not just conservative, if you're a religious social conservative, then, I mean, you don't think that she's a girl anyway. So what's the problem? Nothing was done.
It's just a guy with really large breasts.
Exactly. And so nothing really happened.
Nothing different from seeing Chris Christie on the beach.
But gender is real. I get into this all the time when they want to say their God has to be a guy. Has to be.
12-inch dick.
12-inch dick. But yes, we are Warning Signs of Judgment. Setting up the new Babylon.
To wave the flag and to celebrate sodomy. The spirit of pride.
You celebrate sodomy?
The Antichrist is taking over.
Antichrist, by the way. Guy waving a pride flag.
We are not in conflict against the alphabet community, not against flesh and blood, but do not be deceived, as they are demonic spirits.
Well, I mean, like, that's kind of what the book says, though, right? Says, stone them to death, for they have committed a sin among them.
Definitely says to execute them, yeah.
Behind his satanic agenda, behind all the wicked things happening in our culture. As God wants people to humble, repent, and put their faith in the only Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. On the contrary, Satan wants to be proud and parade their sins. Satan wants people to put their faith.
Now, let me also say, I don't want to be promoting people doing harm to LGBTQ people. I think it's great that they are not following it and in some way liberalizing. It's just a little bit of hypocrisy.
Well, I mean, look, God is the one, their God is the one who created human sexuality from the ground up and specifically made it so that people could be wired and programmed to be attracted to the same sex. He made it so that could work, that could happen. But if that happens to you, you better not do it. You better not act on it. You better not. Yeah, your body's going to tell you that. Your biology is going to be raging for you to do that, but you better not do it, because otherwise that would be naughty. That would be bad. That would be wrong. You have to kill a bunch of people because of it.
Guy watching above us 24/7, 365 will start to kill people. Yeah, Amanda Frock told me dressing was bad. Cross-dressing was bad. Exactly, Norfolk.
In themselves, an abomination, a direct mockery towards.
They love that word, by the way, abomination. It's got a little bit of resonance in it. It's why I like, if you would ever like to call someone out for being transphobic, homophobic, or racist, please use the word degenerate. Just replace it, because they react to it visceral. If you call them transphobic, homophobic, or racist, they will either do one of two things. They will A, argue with you about it, or B, wear it as a badge of honor. But if you call out what they're doing is degenerate, that they are being a reprobate or an asshole, that they are.
I was going to say, how about calling them assholes or
an asshole? Yes, they will snap, and they'll not snap crazy, but snap out of it a little and go, "What do you mean? That's not true. How dare you say so?" As if finally they are offended and you have finally communicated to them. Yes.
And that is what Pride Month is all about.
It is Satan.
This satanic agenda causes
there you go,
to
James.
a sinful lifestyle. They victimize themselves for people to have.
Also,
it's all Satan.
I love that this guy is trying to say that we make ourselves victims, even though all this is basically doing is they can get married.
Oh, I can't. We can't say Merry Christmas anymore. There's a war on Christmas, Amy. Oh.
The absolute war on Christmas.
I mean, I can't get state dollars to pay for a private Christian education that'll teach my kids that evolution is not true and that the Bible is right, that the Earth is 6,000 years old. I can't get that, Amy.
I know my kids are actually gonna have to learn science.
How horrible! Oh my God, fucking science, evolution, radiometric dating, all these terrible heresies against.
They're not gonna learn that there was a prophet riding on dinosaurs or men riding on dinosaurs.
The Flintstones was a documentary, Amy. Did you get the memo on that?
I didn't.
Did you miss that? It's all real, like Galaxy Quest.
Indeed, just like Galaxy.
Have empathy for them. And then human rights.
Once again, do you notice all the footage of just people being happy?
Government for their satanic agenda to be legalized, causing people to recognize their
It's like Russia. I see Cyrillic alphabet on the signs there.
Stands for the truth against the lies of the devil, be restrained, demonetized, and deplatformed.
I love how he goes from they call themselves victims to him trying to be a victim.
Where we get demonetized and we get deplatformed when we make videos that say maybe we should kill drag queens. Maybe that's the right answer to drag queen story hours, to just fucking kill them. Maybe and suddenly, they demonetize us for that, Amy.
Suddenly no one wants to put ads on our TV show.
Right. Why would you not want that? Like, oh, there's a drag queen reading stories to kids in your town. We'll just go and execute them. I mean,
yeah, Pat's like, this is what Christianity has to do to sell the intangible and invisible product, the thing in the sky. From heaven to be the ultimate reward, you need to de-integrate in here, and now the tangible and visible. Yes, it is basically that the end of the world is coming. The satanic agenda is coming because Jill and Jane can marry. Didn't you know? It's terrible.
Satanic agenda is so dreadful.
So dreadful.
Advocates Satanism.
I'm sorry, but he's extra. I'm just I could just tell. It's just every time, James. It's just like in a detector I didn't know I had until I was dating. Was secure in myself as an LGBTQ person. It's just a little bit of flair.
I mean, Amy, you only want to do the bare minimum for flair. I mean, look at Pat Robertson over there. He died with 47 pieces of flair on his body. Okay. Do you want to just do the bare minimum, or I mean?
You want to have a flare overdose? But sending so much Subaru is like, are they all Satanists? Yes, very specifically. All atheists are Satanists, and all LGBTQ people are Satanists. We're all Waker for that. James, Satan is a works program, apparently. It's like Soros and Mossad.
And of course, the Jewish space lizards, which you represent.
Soros, Mossad, exactly.
Yeah.
Space lizards.
Self-worship, because Amy worships her genitals.
This agenda is so prevalent in our culture that it is all over the mainstream.
They're taking pictures. Like, I don't know if they're just trying not to show very raunchy things, or like, I can't help but keep on emphasizing it's just a bunch of people having a good time. So here we have someone dressed as an angel.
You'll see more raunchiness at a Dallas Cowboys game when the guy streaks across the field, naked from the waist down. You'll see more naughtiness there.
Yeah, at a Hooters.
Yeah, they took it over to indoctrinate the people.
Oh, yeah.
Of children into sexual immorality.
Or is it religion who wants to indoctrinate children?
Oh, You mean indoctrination? You mean not when your son comes and tells you or your daughter comes and tells you they're attracted to the same sex? You don't immediately backhand them and beat the shit out of them until they and tell them, you never fucking say that to me again. You never ever. I don't want to hear that shit ever again from out of your mouth.
Spare the rod, spoil the child.
Yeah, you'll go to hell if you do that. You will go and you will be burnt forever. I never want to hear that shit out of your mouth again. And that's what they want. That really is what they want to go back to, where kids are afraid to be who they are. They just have to pretend. They have to fake it. Pretend they're straight. Pretend they're normal.
He, is this close, and I'm pretty sure he does, says we need to bubble wrap our children. He's basically must shelter them.
Oh, no, he goes there.
He does say so.
In about 3 minutes more.
And Doorknob Head, I just want to point out, so if any sentence with at Hooters is likely to be a good sentence, does that mean any sentence that ends with Waffle House is a bad sentence? I'm just kidding, Waffle House. Call me at 3 a.m. It's actually about to be 3 a.m. Come on, call me, Waffle House. You can get a great meal for $5 there. The only place I think they ever in existence. But you do have to listen to Bertha's story about how she got to her place in life. Sending love.
Pride parades, story hours, and drag shows. Much of this.
Oh no, James! Not makeup and hair.
Oh no!
The alphabet community redefines the marriage.
Alphabet community. Oh my god!
Redefining right and wrong. Calling
LGBTQ plus. I mean, when are they gonna stop adding letters, Amy? It's just fucking ridiculous. How many letters is it gonna be?
I do think that's funny. They call us the alphabet people because that is so passive aggressive. Which once again is a little extra.
I mean,
it's acknowledging you know what we are, but I'm actually almost saying something that's more syllables just to not say it. I mean,
it's going to take me an hour soon to say all those letters. It'll just be so many.
You could say LGBTQ.
You guys are so
extra. You could say the alphabet people. James, when I hear the alphabet people, that just makes me want to think why? It's like you're trying to say the village people. Night Sea Science. I hope whatever that special day is, it's super special and goes well. And welcome to Team Heathen. Woo! I can't help it. It's just all of the religious people. It's not even your fault. Literally all the religions, they all just fight because they know they have the right answer. And there's this weird, clean purity in atheism that even though we're cats and or non-believers, agnostics, skeptics, whatever you want to call it, and we're all find each other out in the gutters, there is this weird purity in that we're all yeah, I don't know. And you're oh, we're allowed to say that? Well, do you know the answer? Well, no, do I know the answer? Well, then say I don't know. Oh. Because yes, in religion, you're basically berated when you don't know. And you are congratulated when you say I don't know. It is the difference between the fundamentalist community and people who don't take that so seriously.
It's on U571. You remember that movie where Matthew McConaughey was in that movie, and they take over the German U-boat, and he doesn't know what to do. He's lieutenant from a submarine, and one of the enlisted crew members asks, what are we going to do? And he's I don't know. And then his chief petty officer later tells him, you never say that. You always know. You're the captain. The captain always knows what to do, whether he does or not. It's about leadership and about taking the reins and taking the responsibility for being a leader.
And they are definitely not leaders. As we talk, the warning signs of judgment, the tagline that was given for setting up New Babylon. I told James, I want to read you the original title because we're using the tagline as the title because I thought that because that title that he gave is totally not the title. His original title was How the Devil is Setting Up the New World Order. But it seems like also I like how he's like, I won't be kowtowed. He will be kowtowed. He totally changed his title so that it would be more ad friendly.
It looks eerily familiar to me, looking at like a march of KKK or neo-Nazis, and that's because it's probably the same fucking people. Probably the same people who would march.
No, this is a fucking pride
rally or a KKK rally. It's the same people who want to kill gay people. They want to kill people who associate with black people. They want to kill fucking Jews or people who associate with Jews because they just hate. It's all hate.
Not only that, but once again, I'm pretty sure this guy has seen the lion from Narnia. So if we could just help him get out of the closet.
What is that on his head? I mean, what is that?
They don't preach about love. They preach about lust. And that's all there is to it. Exposes children to the most graphic and vile things of the world to push further their agenda.
I'm pretty sure it's just a pride parade.
Causing them to accept
stuff.
And readily embrace the spirit of
in like Russia.
Christ. Our children don't have to
something.
Experience sin.
Once again, just women with glam makeup.
And know that sin is wrong. Our children don't have to walk with people.
So we're transitioning to another guy.
Who live in
the guy with the fake Neil deGrasse Tyson voice.
And this is the guy who, I think, as James said, he's building up to, but you don't really do it.
Our children don't have to be exposed to the most graphic and vile things of the world in order for them to recognize and be aware of the fact.
Have you ever read the Bible? It's brutal. It's ugly.
I mean, the most graphic and vile things. So, like, if your daughter tells you that she's attracted to other girls and that's who she wants to be with, is that vile and evil, and is she working for Satan? I mean, and that's what it comes down to. They say yes. If your daughter comes and tells you she's only attracted to other girls, not to other guys, then yes, she is a minion of Satan. She should probably be executed, but we won't do that because we're too soft to do that now. So we will still just castigate and deplore and belittle her until she relents and stops being who she is.
Yeah, as Norfolk says, a man nailed to a cross, bleeding. Yes.
Fact that there are graphic and vile things out there that they should flee from, and in fact shouldn't even.
Yeah, there are fucking vile, aggressive things out there like fucking racism and anti-Semitism, bigotry. There are lots of vile, disgusting things out there people should flee from. There are, absolutely, but wanting to execute people for being who they are and for loving who they love, that's not part of it. That's not part of the people who are hurting out there, actively promoting things that hurt people.
James, it says one world pride. How dare they? Vile, evil. This is basically the worst thing I've ever seen.
One world, what? Amy, you mean everybody coming together? Amy, that's like the Tower of Babel. Remember when everybody was on the stage and they were all working towards one common goal, Amy? Remember, they were all, and they were building that tower. They were going to get to heaven, and God said, "What the fuck, WTF? No, I'm not going to allow this to happen." And he came down and confounded their language, so they couldn't keep building that tower. And that's why we have tribalism.
That's the way we should act towards sin. That's the way we should treat sin. So don't you ever apologize for sheltering your children. I believe we're commanded to shelter our children. Don't you ever apologize, regardless of what kind of choices you've made with your children. All of us.
Sorry. Did you all just hear that? Commanded
whatever choices you make
to shelter your children.
Room, regardless of those kinds of choices. The Bible clearly teaches that the sin of Sodom and Gomorrah was the sin of sodomy. That's what we're dealing with here.
So, once again, sodomy is both anal and oral. I get this argument a lot that it's never, because it means that a lot of Christian men who got blowjobs are going to hell. Brimstone and fire. But James, that would mean them, and it's not them, it's the icky gays. But yes, God is going to...
As you know, a woman cannot give oral sex to a man because that would be horrible.
It's a man's job. James,
why would a
woman go down there? It's disgusting.
Yeah, you need a man to do that, right?
I am Jesse Lee Peterson, and I do a man's job. I'll go down there. With that,
I can suck dick better than any woman on the planet.
James, why would you have a woman have an orgasm? That'd be gay.
She's trying to be a man if she has an orgasm. If she gets off when she's having sex, she's transgender. She's trying to be a man, and that would be gay.
Is this how they this is how this logic works? Okay, stick with me here. All right. Trying to be a biological woman, she has an orgasm, and so that makes her a transgender, so that if he has sex with a transgender, it's not actually any gay, because I already had sex with a man over here. That
would be gay.
That would be gay. Anyway, we're setting up New Babylon. We're warning signs as we're finally going into Hellfire and Brimstone. Once again, this is the most risque we've shown. I see a little bit here. I almost see skin.
Oh, you can see your armpits there. Look at that.
And Brimstone. That's what's going on here.
I see it.
There's not some other sort of nuanced thing happening.
Oh, not at all. No nuance here.
Oh, I like this. He's going to attack.
Makes it as clear as day. It was.
The fact that he's doing it in black and white just makes it more epic. Like it's like it just raises like the epic factor by like 30%.
Puts, as my mom would say, a little bit of ambiance.
Is this like Beyonce here from Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me?
Yes.
And it was pursuing
sexual immorality.
Desires.
It is very specifically doing drag.
Pursuing unnatural desires. Amy, you could write a book about that.
Oh, could I?
The sin of Sodom was sodomy. It was
sodomy.
That's what we're dealing with here.
That's it.
It was unambiguous.
I know. That's all you've talked about. That's all you can talk about.
We get it. The Bible really hated gay people. We get it. They didn't like them. They wanted to kill them.
And they just toss lesbians aside. It's the same way that they toss trans men aside. It's
like they don't even exist. Well, I mean, I guess they kind of exist, but they don't really address them because they're just like folded up in with the rest of them.
Because they are not useful politically. It is useful to go after gay men. It is useful to go after trans women. Now, transgender men and lesbians suffer because when they take us down, it's not like they put into the law, and we're only going for the ones with these.
It's like a trans woman when, like, what? She can get pregnant? What? Well, yeah, she can. Remember, it's like back when you had that debate, and they're like, yeah, if you don't think trans men are men, then yeah, the idea that a man could get pregnant is foreign to you. It doesn't make sense, but trans
But they
men
also
are men.
know what we're I feel like you have to straw man us for the argument to even work. It's not like we're saying, oh, someone who was born with XY can give birth. That actually is a condition of problem, but not saying generally of someone born with XY can give birth.
No, they're conflating.
We're saying
gender and sex.
Exactly. They know exactly what we're talking about.
They know it. They just refuse to accept the nuances.
And there's the only thing that they have is basically what I call the embarrassment factor. Is they try and embarrass you. They're like, well, you're a transgender woman. That means you're a man. Do
you menstruate? Do you have a period? Do you?
It's like that's the whole point of being transgender. Is we figured out it's the wrong gender because we are one sex. It's not like we're like, all right, let's get our chromosome changing technology out.
Well, that's like KJV saying you will never know what it feels like to get wet. As a woman, you will never know what it feels like to give birth as a woman. You're not a real woman. Of course, then it was Shannon Q who's like, well, how do you know I'm a biological woman? Have you examined my genitalia? Do you need to do that?
And that is the thing. You don't check 95. I'm being generous when I say 95. 95%.
98%.
98. Yeah. The vast majority of humans in your life,
you do not inspect
their genitalia. And so you're using secondary sex characteristics to just guess. And that's okay.
That's all we can do.
I'm not trying to postmodernly bring down society. I'm just trying to say, can we just get on with our shit? I feel feminine. There's a feminine bucket and a masculine bucket. There actually is I would say, a good case for an androgynous. But
I mean, you can tell that you present as more of a female, and if people legitimately don't know that, okay, and if they refer you otherwise, then and you say no, I prefer to be presented as a woman, then they say, oh, I'm sorry.
I think everyone
usually
should
it's
get
the other way around.
Usually
it's the other way around.
I think everyone should
they know
get a
you
freebie.
Want to be referred to as a woman, and it's
two
the difference
things.
of being mistaken versus being an asshole.
Exactly. Two things. One, I think everyone gets a freebie, as in if you say something, then you should then just adjust, because everyone can make an accident. There was someone, I think Rachel and I thought were trans today. She was very cute. But then there was also someone that I had in McDonald's or someone where they were just so fucking in between that I struggled to I wanted to be like, could you just take your mask down? It's okay. I mean, I'm pro mask. I just want to see what you can't.
You're not an
you have to.
You just want to
I just want to know because I want to pronoun you. I don't want to I'm sweating because I don't want to mess it up. I want to treat you right. It happens.
And it's the thing of I don't want to. Sometimes we all have to guess sometimes, and it's not a comfortable position to be in. But it's a question of, are you being an asshole versus being someone who doesn't know? And I'll say, trying to remember and trying to struggle with it. It's the same thing when people present a name that they want to be known by or how to pronounce their name. There are people who have been corrected about Aaron Ra's name, and they'll still call him Aaron Ra. And the difference is, are you trying to be an asshole? Do you just not know? or do you just not know that he wants to be referred to as Aaron Ra, not Aaron Ra? Or do you know that you just keep calling him Aaron Ra just to piss him off? And that's the difference.
Indeed. It's really and then I will say, I will give one more, is that I think that it sometimes makes it easier. I think I give enough away that you can make a guess. And if you make the guess wrong,
you present like 95% female, so
really, but
it shouldn't be too hard to guess. But
and I think that if you have this material, though I can understand someone still gets it wrong, so I give you this, and you still get it wrong, mulligan. And then I give you a mulligan, and then you still get it wrong. At that point, I've gone 50-50. I used to be passive aggressive when people used to like sir me. I used to ma'am them.
It wasn't Pat. But Mr. Batman when he sir. You're like, ma'am. Like, no, ma'am. I am a sir.
And it works well because they would freak out.
Somebody who has, I have a penis, sir. You will refer to me as somebody, as a man who has a penis, and my penis, sir, only goes into other women, sir.
That's a guy whose dad never accepted them. Just putting that
biological women, sir. My penis only goes into biological women. And all those guys who are telling you that I put my penis in them, they're all lying, sir. They are not telling the truth. All 30 of them are all lying against me because I am holy before the Lord Jesus.
By the way, if you ever do come across, once again, well, any of these anti-LGBT, he's just one of the data points. But Mr. Batman, this guy is anti-gay, and he used to be gay. And if you bring that subject up anymore, he'll run. Used to be. I know. I say that as if he doesn't still suck a big old bunch of dilly dogs.
Or if he doesn't, he fucking wishes he could.
Yes, his browser history.
Exactly.
We're watching Setting Up New Babylon, the Warning Signs of Judgment.
To whether or not that's sin. Absolutely unambiguous. The sin of Sodom was especially and uniquely heinous.
Especially
very heinous.
Atrocious or cruel. Where's Ted Bundy?
Yeah.
And uniquely heinous. It's not like other sins.
Extremely wicked.
Not like other sins because it's butt stuff.
Well, and this is the crux of it, Amy. This is really the key to it all is they are fine with condemning other people. They are fine with holding other people to biblical standards of conduct. Like, and Amy is exactly like this. It's like Ken Hovind, okay? When he was happily married to his first wife, he would have said no. Divorce is evil. It's satanic. It's wrong. It's cruel. No, you cannot be divorced and be remarried. But as soon as it happened to him, as soon as, he gets out of prison and his wife is not willing to continue going down his path of fucking with the government and trying, because she doesn't want to go back to prison because he got her sent to prison for a year, even though he did 10 years, but he got his wife sentenced to a year in prison because he wouldn't plead to the case. He wouldn't do the charges. His wife, Jo Hovind, did a year in federal prison. It comes down to the wife being submissive to the husband. That's the way Christianity presents that it should be. And that's how they want wives to be, subservient to their husbands. And as we had Sidney Lincoln, his third wife, before. She was willing to submit to certain degrees of that, but she's not willing to turn over her whole will and physical humanity over to Ken Hoven, which, yeah. Which we need to get her back on again, Cindy. I haven't checked with her in a little while to see how she's doing, but we need to get her back on. It's been a while. Last I was in touch with her, maybe a couple months ago. She was all right, but this is the thing. So somebody like Ken Hoven, who rallied and preached against divorce for so long, like, divorce is evil, divorce is wrong, Jesus condemns it, he doesn't approve of it. And that's all fine and good, except when they are put in that position. Well, okay, Ken, so your wife, she's left you. What are you going to do? You as a 60-year-old man, are you okay to be alone for the rest of your life because your wife left you? Oh, no? You don't think that's okay? You don't want to spend the rest of your life alone. So now, all of a sudden, you're going to interpret and adopt a more nuanced, a more liberal position of the scriptures. But before that, he had no problem condemning people and castigating people for being divorced and remarried because it's against the Bible. They shouldn't do that. Yet as soon as they are in that position themselves, they fucking evolve really quickly. Really quickly. It's like the non-asshole Christians who find out they have gay or lesbian children. And then their theology, unless they're an asshole, their theology adapts really quickly to that because guess what? As a parent, as I'm a parent, as those of you who are, realize you don't hate your kids, you love your kids. And if your son or daughter came to you and told you they were attracted to the same sex, I think 95% of you guys would accept that. And maybe due to religious reasons, it's not the ideal, but you're not going to stop loving your kids because of that. You're not going to disown them or castigate them or cut them off from you because they're attracted to who they're attracted to. And that's the thing. People, they have no problem adhering to a strict biblical interpretation when it has no effect on them. Like me personally, as a straight man, the prohibition against being gay has no effect on me, right? Because I'm not gay anyway, so it's nothing. Telling me not to have sex with other men is not any type of like struggle because that's how I'm wired already. But the people that are wired that way, they seem to adopt a pretty nuanced interpretation pretty quick. Amy, what do you think? They're like, well, I mean, God is love. And,
it oftentimes takes it happening to them. I could not agree more in that, when it's a gay son, a gay daughter, when it is about an issue that finally pertains, I didn't need this healthcare until, oh my God, but someone in my family got it. I got it, etc., etc. Then they finally give a shit.
And I'll tell you honestly, I did have hopes,
if they have empathy,
but hopes that even somebody like Rush Limbaugh, I did have hopes because he's somebody I listened to when I was more of a straight line conservative back in like the late 90s. I was a kid, but my parents always had him on. They loved him and whatever. I was always hoping he would come out after he was diagnosed with the stage 4 lung cancer and he was getting the treatment. I always hoped he would come out for universal health care before he passed. And he never did, obviously. But, I always thought like he, being a millionaire, can get the best healthcare money can buy. Any type of treatment, experimental, any type of treatment, anything that gives you any hope, you can get. But these people, they're not humanitarians. They really don't think of other people in the same way, and that's kind of tragic in a way. But it is what they are. I think we have to say that. And Gizmo definitely is pious, Doran. He is absolutely. He's a
such a good boy. And all right, we are jumping back in. We are about halfway through now. We are setting up New Babylon, the Warning Signs of Judgement. We are having fun as it's apparently the end of the world because of that gang.
As we know it.
That whole gang.
That are more heinous than others. And this is one in particular. The sin of homosexuality is particularly heinous. And by the way,
particularly
Genesis
extra evil.
It's a perversion of the created order. You just go back to
James. It's not like killing or stealing, but it's like loving someone of the same gender or sex.
Exactly. It's much worse than like killing or stealing or robbing or, committing adultery. It's just
those
so
are forgivable.
Right. You can forgive somebody for going out and murdering somebody or, going and robbing your neighbor, carjacking somebody. But, I mean, you want to talk about two men or two women loving each other and wanting to be in a relationship with each other? Oh, my fucking God. Yeah. The world is going to come to an end. Oh, my God.
I feel like it's that and nuclear bombs, right? Both of the two biggest issues that can threaten society. I think so.
Genesis chapter 1 and Genesis chapter 2. And it does not take a rocket scientist to figure out that this was not what God had.
Unfortunately, we don't have a rocket. We don't have one on staff, so.
That is true. I feel like if you ask the rocket scientist, does God say kill gay people in the Bible? They'd be like, you know what? That's probably not my subject of expertise.
Probably ask a priest or pastor about that. Even though the answer they'll probably give you is bullshit.
Man, it's a perversion of the created order. Secondly, it's a perversion of the procreation command.
It's a perversion of a perversion.
The procreation command.
This sin is a perversion because it makes it impossible for us to do what God's commanded us to do. God has given us marriage. God has given us the relations between men and women in marriage.
Really? He has?
And chief among
James, it said so in a book 3.5 thousand years ago plus.
Well,
and so it has to be forever.
Is procreation, but it's also a perversion of the promise. The first proclamation of the gospel there in Genesis chapter 3 and verse 15 is about the seed of the woman crushing the head of the serpent, the seed of the serpent.
Well, so Amy can talk to you about seed and crushing heads, and she's a.
I was gonna say that got oddly sexual very fast there for a second, but
I don't want to talk about crushing heads.
Okie dokie, I know. Also, I mean, I should say oddly sexual, but the religious people are always obsessed with sex. That's all they want to talk about. When we want to talk about gay marriage, like, they never once go like, is it two people that want to come together to form a loving human and enjoy each other's company for the rest of their lives?
No, Amy, it's you want to take your penis and insert it into another man's asshole.
Very specifically. That's all they care about.
That's what, that's
all it is.
Get on. What's the serpent trying to do? He's trying to kill the seed.
He's trying to fucking eat a rat or something. Fuck.
What is
He's trying to be a serpent?
I know. Why does the snake is it because it could become fat? It could be like phallic. Why is a snake like giving out seed and stuff?
He wants to find a rat or a mouse and eat it That's
well, James,
all they
I was gonna say, are we talking about like the vegetarian snake or the carnivorous snake?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Apparently, there are
Obviously,
two kinds.
obviously, before the flood, Amy, the snakes would, very, very carefully stalk maybe like a squash or a watermelon, maybe, and eat it like they would an animal. But after the flood, they only can eat live prey. But
Yes,
before
then
that,
they can suddenly
they were vegetarian.
eat actual animals. Also, that's so funny. This is the alt-right version of an "I Have a Dream" speech.
Is this Boy George? No, it can't be. That's not Boy
Who wants to
George.
do? That is
No, which are
Karma.
yeah. Was Boy George often wear a lot of big wigs? Boy George.
the serpent to kill the seed.
Karma.
What a better way to kill the seed than to send women with women and men with men.
No, Boy George wears lots of eyeliner
perfect plan.
and mascara. Allies, not aliens. Like all these people are just like peacefully protesting, or they're celebrating a pride event.
Note that this is not in America because that's a Cyrillic script that they have. Well,
Yeah,
not all of it.
this is some
look
sort
over
of
there,
Slavic country.
Allies,
I
not
think.
aliens, but some of it is Cyrillic. So this is like in Bulgaria or Belarus or some other country where they use Cyrillic script.
It could be in the stands. I like the stands because I know where they are on the map now because the
Azerbaijan.
stands are all together. Yes, Kyrgyzstan, all of them, all of them that end in stand,
Tajikistan.
they're all together. They're all
US
right
stand.
there together.
You do that, no chance the promised Messiah is ever
Oh, look at that pride flag. Oh, look at that.
Oh my, spooky.
in order to avoid the fulfillment promise of the coming of the Messiah.
You know,
What he's saying is, like, look, this is the devil's plan, Amy. Like, look, when Eve ate that apple or that fruit, and God condemned mankind. He said he was going to send a savior, but the devil had a plan to turn everybody gay so that there would be no savior, because guess what? If everybody turned gay, there would be no procreation, because there would be no men and women having sex to have babies. So therefore, there would be no Messiah, no Savior. So this has been the devil's plan all along. For everybody gay.
Yes.
For everybody gay.
Okay,
And,
first of all, can we just point out how much smarter that Satan is, apparently, than God? I just want to say, like, God is the one that's letting him do all this, right? And letting us do all the inspired. Because free will somewhere in there, even though we can drown babies in some stories.
God allows
free will
everything.
to go themselves.
Oh, we got Mark Reid out there in chat.
Global homo. Yo, which has been kind of the theme of this episode, which is this guy is really sad that there is homosexuals all over the planet.
I wish I could go back, Amy, and get that clip of when we told her that the only problem with global homo is we need more of it. We need more people out there,
more global homo,
being in relationship with the people that they love. And why is that bad?
Not only is that not bad, I think it should be so. It's pretty fucking awesome. Also, Night Subaru.
Good night, Subaru.
And I just wanted to point this out. Are we what's stopping Jesus from coming back? Are we
Apparently,
the final boss before he does? Because that does sound like excuses, doesn't it? Like, if you're the almighty God of the universe and you're, like, waiting for a bunch of people who like shopping at Bed Bath & Beyond, what a lame final battle. My God. James, like, you have a bunch of people who drink, like, margaritas and mimosas on here. They like omelets, okay? And they enjoy brunch at a certain hour.
Yeah,
exactly,
mimosa.
Okay? And then over here on this side, you have the omnipotent, omnipresent creator of the universe. Okay, but before before we even begin, what do you think your odds are for each group going head to head? I'm not sure. You know what I mean?
Well,
I could see it going either way.
I'll tell you, I watched a movie. It was like 2 weeks ago, and I forget the name of it. Maybe somebody will know in chat. And the movie was about a psychiatrist who there's a guy in a prison who's been sentenced to death for killing a bunch of people, and his lawyers have claimed he's insane to be executed. He can't be killed because he's insane. And so this psychiatrist is sent to his prison to evaluate him to see if he's insane or not. And but Amy, it turned out he was demon possessed. It was
Dun, dun, dun.
yeah, he was demon possessed. It was the demons who were making him kill all those people that he killed, and but the demons threatened the psychiatrist's family. They threatened to kill his girlfriend, who had the demon knew that she just had an abortion. So of course, that's a murder that he's holding against both of them, and yeah.
James, I hate demon possessions. They can happen to the worst of us, the best of us, all.
It's all Satan, Amy. That's all that it is. All the devil, all Satan. It's all the time. We just saw an interview a few days ago where Satan actually gave an interview to a Christian and laid out all his plans about how to subjugate.
I always like how they always have plans too. Like the gods and the semi-gods, they can't just do shit. They gotta have plans.
Oh,
short term, long term.
What do you expect? You expect the devil just to take over one day, like just to wake up in the morning, and it's the devil?
Yeah, where the fun be? Anyway, we are Midnight Ranting on the Warning Signs of the Judgment. We're getting closer and closer to the end game, though it's really been him just being mad about gays this whole video. Like,
He's
man,
triggered.
We are not off target in the SEO tonight. It's just LGBTQ and Satan, James.
So it's a perversion of the created order. It's a perversion of the procreation command. It's also a perversion of the promise. The sin of Sodom was sodomy. The sin of Sodom was especially and uniquely heinous. Here's another thing that I want you to know. Virtually everywhere in the New Testament, where
I keep on thinking of the I have. This is the alt-right version of the "I Dream a Dream" speech.
Yeah, basically.
You read these words about homosexuality, sexual immorality is right there with it.
Is it now?
Two guys kissing.
Oh
what
my
the fuck?
God.
Oh my God! Jesus is crying.
It's heinous. And it is
Guys, really making love to that statue.
So heinous.
You can't justify homosexuality anyhow, anyway, from the Old Testament.
No how, no way.
From the Old Testament. And he gets it both ways. Yeah. You know, the people that say that's just the Old Testament. Though, once again, this guy isn't going to go out, thankfully, and do any harmful things to anyone that's LGBTQ. But his book very specifically says to. So, like, I don't even understand why he makes
he's not saying to do it. I mean, it's just in his book. If you want to follow it, you follow it.
But we can't.
It's out
we
there.
Can't be. It is literally we could do it, but we can't be happy about it. Like, what kind of passive aggressive fucking shit is that? Like, I guess I'm happy. I don't want you to go and hurt LGBTQ people. I don't like that we were at a time where that even was a thing. And yet...
But if you feel the need to, I mean, if it feels right to you, then who am I to judge, right? Who am I to tell you not to do it?
But it's a weird flex to be like, we're the ones who follow it truthfully by being upset about it. Okay.
Testament or from the New Testament. And here's the problem specifically.
All right, what's the problem?
Let me know the problem.
Oh, good. We're at 7:24 to 10:40.
Where's the issue?
James, every time they Lord Zeno us, even in the gay Jesus video, or not gay Jesus, well, whatever the fuck.
When do you get to see Jesus sucking a dick, basically? Like, oh, gay Jesus. Okay, all right. When do we see him suck a dick? All right, here we go.
The money shot. It's got to be right here.
Just for a moment. God uses Sodom and Gomorrah as an example. And the names of those twin cities are used throughout the rest of the Bible as a warning. A warning. God demonstrates his righteousness and he demonstrates his wrath and he gives a warning for the rest of the time of history.
He gives a warning, like, I was driving down the road like only 11 miles an hour over, and I got pulled over, and you know what? I had a good record. I just got a warning, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
And I'm only going to be able to have it in this one book of ancient mythological tales that come from oral tradition.
I just came from the bar. I was like 0.25, but, you know, I just got a warning.
Warning. There's two ways you could take that warning, okay? Like, he nuked 2 cities. But, like, I hate to say don't get outdone by America or other humans, but, you know, we've kind of done that too. So, like, you're going to have to be a little bit more than just...
It's a different question because humans are not able to make perfect moral decisions. That we have moral dilemmas, and we have moral issues that we have to contend with, and what is the right thing to do is not always apparent. And as we know through history, humans have repeatedly failed
the wrong thing
in the terms of what people in the future think of what they did. And,
history is actually a guide of how we things up oftentimes. We can we can try to use that as a guidebook to hopefully not make the same mistakes.
It's true, and so as long as you're not a more realist, if you're a relativist like me, or even I think your version of morality would suffice to get past it. But
I'm something. Yeah, I'm a situationalist. I'll keep on saying it.
But I don't think you would judge people too harshly based on the future.
No. Oh, I go think of the example when I say we nuke things. You know, that war was an especially bloody war, and they were killing each other.
You have to remember, though, we were attacked initially in that war. Our fleet was in Pearl Harbor.
Well,
and
but by the time we did Hiroshima and Nagasaki, I think Pearl Harbor was well. I guess you can't say it was in our rear view, but I mean, we had already done all of this. We had done Normandy had been bloody. You did all of this. The Russian war up in the front at the top was extremely bloody, and then it just seemed like a land war was going to be extremely bloody, and you were going to have urban warfare. It was going to be you didn't have to go on their territory. It gets civilians suddenly involved. It makes
had we invaded mainland Japan and had that war, would their casualties have been lesser? Nobody will ever know. Nobody will.
But what I do know is we didn't nuke them for being gay. Can we all agree with that? Can everyone hear?
We did not.
Anybody? All right. So with that,
it does suck. It is a hard moral issue.
But can you imagine nuking 2 cities for liking to sachet?
What?
Okay. I can't even say.
No. Amy,
me pronunciating words should be
these guys in the city. They like to suck dick, or they like other guys to suck their dick. You don't understand, Amy. This is beyond the pale. This is fucked up. This is something
We
different.
can't have it. James, these are people that actually like to be in the band. So you can see.
Amy, listen, the band's gonna make it, okay? Like, I know it's been rough so far. I know we're living in your mom's basement, but the band's gonna make it, okay? A year from now, we'll be on tour. We'll be making $1,000 a day, and things will be good. I promise you, it'll be.
Also says love is a human right on the screen in there.
Remember these people who are sexually immoral. You remember what I did because of their immorality. He reminds us of who he is and that he's the God who's going to judge again. And ultimately and finally.
Fun fact, the only judges we know of in human history so far are humans, animals, these squishy things. Only judges. We know of no gods to actually judge us. So.
Finally, here's what's so pernicious about the promotion of homosexuality.
What?
Give it to me.
We take what is the ultimate warning in the Old Testament and basically say,
what is it?
God was wrong about that. That really wasn't what it was about. That really wasn't what upset God. And
yeah, because you have liberals who try to say it was trying to be something else. You have a lot of moderates and conservatives saying that there is a new law or he fulfilled Testament, because we live in a world where everyone just cafeterias their own religion, just like you do. Just like how you don't stone us to death.
They all do it.
Because that would make you an even bigger asshole than you are now.
And I remember back when I was a Christian, we used to profess this issue, and I'm like, look, do you think God needs to just lighten up? Does he just need to be hip and get with the times? Like, does he just need to be real? Like, no. It's like, no. God is who God is. He doesn't care about. I
actually think if God just turned his cap backwards, I think he can reach a new demographic that we've been trying to. How do you feel about Axe body spray?
I bought it.
How about sunglasses?
Well, I mean, it depends. Do they make me look gay or not? If they make me look gay, fine. I'm okay with it. But if not, then.
There's
what's the point if they don't make you look gay? What's even the point of it?
No joke. There are certain things I do even to this day, and that I was just raised in, that I still go, oh, that's a little bit gay, and then I catch myself, and then I go, oh wait, I can. Like,
is that where you
kiss
the mezuzah at the door? Do they have where you
oh my god,
it's like that's gay? It's like a penis at the door.
First of all, that is so funny you bring that up. For any of you that don't know, there's a mezuzah. There's a little fucking
Orthodox Jews have this thing.
And I guess I must have had
Amy, who is a Jew, can explain it to you.
But if you wanted to put imagine a mailbox. A tiny little mailbox, okay? And all it has is this one little scroll in there that has some sort of prayer. And they put these mezuzahs on the door frame. On every door, your front of your door, if you can only afford one.
Some people do it just on the front door.
Yeah,
but
just on the front of your door.
Every door in the room, every door in the house. Every bedroom, every bathroom, every fucking
And what
closet.
it does is it allows you to be a virgin. I'm just kidding.
You can touch it, kiss your fingers, and idealistically it would be a copy of the whole Torah, but usually it wasn't that. But
generally,
sections of the Torah.
Yes, it's as much as you can fit in
sections of
that tiny little fucking box.
And I mean, these things are like 2-3 inches long, maybe a quarter of an inch wide, a half an inch wide.
And some of them are plain. Some of them are just like a little brown box, and some of them are decorated and have fucking drawings on them and all sorts of stuff.
As I could say, doorknob, as I as Amy's pointed out before, when I was growing up, I was a part of a Messianic congregation. They dabbled in something like Jewish practices, but my son's mother is Jewish, so we had lots of Jewish things.
Because religion, they just go, you know what? We'll just mix it all, and if you just
they had mezuzahs every doorpost inside the house, outside the house, inside. Yeah, they had a mezuzah, every single one.
Because that's what religion is. You just all you have to do is say, "Hey, I believe this. Now I'm going to make a place, and now I'm going to say, hey, a bunch of people, you want to come here and believe what I believe? All right, sure." Religion.
No, so the fucking Nazi comes in and wants to shoot everybody.
Well,
it's like, what the fuck? They're just putting fucking shit on the door and kissing it. Is that something you really need to kill people over?
Well,
they're like, yes, we need to kill people for that shit.
That is what I have to consistently remind people, that I know that we are anti-Islam, anti-Christian, and anti-Christianity and anti-Judaism.
Oh yeah.
But we're not anti-Muslim, Christian, or Jew.
We don't hate people for their religion.
And
we think their religion might be silly, but we don't cross that line to hate the people who believe it.
And if you do hate religious people, like the actual religious people for who they are as humans, that's a you thing. You're actually not being a good person in this, at least one area. That's right. It's Chinese fortune cookies for Jews. I do have to. I keep on saying to make bits. I have all this stuff, and now I have time, so I'm going up on stage. But I just want to make bits about Jew dogs, because that's what I call Hebrew National hot dogs. And then I get in an argument with Rachel, and she's like, "Stop calling them Jew dogs." And I'm like, "Why? Why? It's what I said." She's like, "God damn it! I just used that word."
Is Rachel Jewish in her background?
No.
Okay.
She's from Nebraska. Which I guess you can be a Jew from Nebraska.
Are you saying there's no Jews?
I was gonna say no. I'm sure there's one there.
Well, I have nipples, Amy. Can you milk me?
My mom always makes fun, because my brother is probably one of the rare people that was a Jewish cop, but he is about to retire.
30 some years on the force, hopefully.
Exactly. And so he'll get his pension, and then he'll be able to do his business, which is car detailing. He'll just do that for the end of days and raise his family. Good times.
Even if it did, he was the cruel God of the Old Testament and not the God of the New Testament. What's the danger in that? Here's the danger in that. Sodom and Gomorrah is supposed to make your ears perk up when you read Revelation.
I think Revelation is supposed to make your ears perk up, because it's all just batshit crazy. Maybe a little bit. Well, here, can
remind you, not that we've been told about the judgment that is to come, but that we've been warned about a judgment that is to come by the God who turned those cities into ashes. That's why it's so pernicious. So do I believe that we ought to bash homosexuals? Do I believe? Absolutely not. Not at all. That is not.
Now, once again, do I have to bring up chapter and verse? Do we have to go into Leviticus?
You don't have to.
It says to kill us. And so
they
you do this.
Be put to death. I mean, I don't know another way of interpreting that, but if you're saying they shall surely be put to death, I mean, what does that mean to you?
Seems like you shall surely be put to death, if you ask me.
Yeah, you shall surely kill them. Yeah.
By hugs? By snoo?
Yeah, with kisses and hugs from the snuffle.
So, like, this guy can say how tough he is for following the real Bible.
He's an absolute badass.
Fucking badass. But
ball Costanzas the size of beach balls.
But all this is we should not like it. We should just not be very happy. We need to be really mad that the government did it. Cool.
My position at all, but my position is we must hold fast to the truth of Scripture. And my position is also this: in our day and in our culture,
hold fast to that bullshit.
Hold fast to the book said a thing. Okay. Well, less and less Christians each day. Mazel tov.
This is the front line of the battle.
Well, we're on the front line. Yeah, we are on the front fucking line.
On the truth of the Scriptures. And we should not be surprised.
Yeah, truth of Scriptures, yeah, they're bullshit.
Beloved, while
yeah, there you go.
To write to you about our common salvation, I found it necessary to write to you, urging you to contend earnestly for the faith, which was once for all handed down to the saints.
Very earnestly.
Why was this important? It says, because certain persons have crept in unnoticed. Ungodly persons turn the grace of God
Is that us? Are we ungodly?
James, is he finally giving us a call out?
I feel it that way, yeah. Like finally acknowledging all the work we've been doing, all the ass we've been busting, and finally someone recognizes it. Finally we get some fucking recognition.
James, it's just nice to be noticed, you know what I mean? And I will say that the pews are emptying out slowly but surely. So I really just want to
say that we are like 95% done with this video. If anybody wants to come in the open mic soon and tell us what you think, that'll be coming up. And we'll keep it open if you want to come on and tell us.
Exactly. As we go into the ending of setting up the new Babylon, the warning signs of judgment.
Babylon 5.
Our only master and Lord, Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, them with the whole master and Lord. I just want to point out.
You are my master, Amy. You are my master and Lord.
Where else but religion and BDSM would calling someone a master?
As a BDSM practitioner yourself, Amy, you are my Lord.
My Lord and Savior. Can I just say that it's okay in a scene, but calling someone your Lord and a Savior and actually meaning it, it's a little.
My cock belongs to you. It is here to service your glory. It is glory for you.
And do you know how I know it's to service glory?
How is that?
It's in a glory hole.
Well, there you go.
Sorry, that was just...
It's sticking through the hole. Maybe you should put some up against that hole.
Exactly.
Your mouth or your ass or
James,
whatever.
We're basically doing math at this point.
It's basic, arithmetic.
I, our only master and Lord, Jesus Christ.
But they don't think it's creepy. They see it as a good thing. Okay, I'm sorry.
You are the master of baits.
Master of baits.
They creep into the church, identify themselves as Christians.
Oh, they snuck in.
Oh, Jesus. You talking about secular Christians and all this. It's like he complains about everyone, it's just not him.
Into lawlessness.
That's all they do.
And they deny our only master and Lord Jesus Christ.
There we go.
Those who have crept in unnoticed.
Oh my
ungodly
goodness.
Persons.
Well, we'll give you something unnoticed.
First of all, it's pushed on children. It was pushed on. Now listen, I love my parents. My mom just thought she was being a good Jew. That's exactly what she told me. But you just do what you're told. And they recruit. That's how it is. It is actual indoctrination, ideology.
Your mom was taught as she was growing up that if you have a son, you have a young boy, he goes to Hebrew school to have his bar mitzvah. And that's what they did with you.
Exactly.
They weren't being evil. They weren't being malevolent. I mean, that's just the way they were brought up, and that's the way things went. It's like when you remember after Michael Jackson died. I remember his his father, is he Joe Jackson? Whoever he was on TV, and they were like talking about allegations that he beat his kids with belts and whatnot. It's like he said, no, I never did that. It's like, well, if you just come out and said, well, look, that's how we raised kids back then. I get it. That's not how we most people look at parenting as correct today, but it was okay back then. Yeah, I did that. I'm not proud of it. I did beat my kids with belts, but I wouldn't do it today, and I don't think anybody else should do that. Instead of just saying, no, what are you talking about?
I think people just don't like being lied to.
Beat my kids with a belt? No, I would never do that. I'm not a monster. I'm not an asshole. I'm not a child abuser. I would never beat my kids like that. What are you talking about?
Yeah, just what you're saying is I just don't think people just don't like being lied to.
Well, and that's the thing, like we talked about before, and that's what got Bill Clinton in trouble. If he just came out and said at the beginning, "Yeah, I fucked up. I cheated on my wife. I've been having affairs with a couple interns, whatever," it probably would have gone away. It was the fact that he lied about it, and not to say that to try to investigate somebody and nail them on the cross for that is the right thing to do or appropriate. I'm not necessarily saying that, but it's a question of whether the denial of something is worse or prolongs an accusation. Even worse of doing the thing they're accusing you of is the denial of it.
Promises, along with the modern-day Christ-rejecting Jews in Israel.
Deny our only Master and Lord Jesus Christ. What's the big deal? Here's the big deal. Repent, believe, come to faith in the Lord Jesus Christ, who, according to 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verses 9 through 11, can save you from this and
can
from this and can give
Amy, did you not hear that? He can save you. You just pray to God. Pray to God that He take away all your trans feelings away, and then you'll wake up tomorrow and you'll just feel like a man, and you won't have any links for this transgender nonsense, and you'll be fine.
And that is how they view it, as if you can just pray to something and it's a choice and God can just change you.
It's literally like choosing what you want to have for lunch the next day.
Exactly. And so, which to me is kind of a weird thing, because that to me suggests that they know that they're gay. Because or at least bi. Because if you were to tell me as a heterosexual man that someone could convince you that you to be attracted to men, I just feel like you're telling me on the Kinsey scale you're a little bit more flexible than you are letting
exactly
on
a
to.
0 or a 0.5. You're close to 1.5.
At least that's the way it seems. Now, if
there's anything wrong with that, we realize that there are people who are
it's from a bit
not comfortable with coming out and saying what they are. We get that. There's a stigma behind coming out and saying you're gay or bi or whatever, and I think me, myself, and Davey certainly understand that. We recognize that. Don't judge anybody for that, but it does come into play, Amy, when they want to attack somebody like yourself for being who you are as yourself.
And as much as it triggers them so much. And so you can come join us in the link below. If you agree with us, feel free to join us. If you disagree, extra feel free to join us, because we want to know especially if you're anti-LGBTQ, so I can help you come out of the closet. I kid a little bit.
If you want to kill Amy, if you think that she
Oh
needs
my
to be
God.
executed for being who she is, then she will be more than happy. She has many a trans children out there who these are people who have come to her for advice and a confidence to help themselves be who they are. And not all of them, by the way, are out as who they are right now because there's still a stigma behind it. But Amy is known for helping people in that position, for helping them to.
At this point, I am a trans grandma. As a mother, Amy. I've had people, first of all, I think that I had someone who helped me come out, who after I had therapy and I had all of my things, I had friends who helped me.
Therapist?
Oh my! That depends on the friends group, because like I was telling Rachel, I very much had Kitty who helped me, a genderqueer person who helped me when I was in a certain college, and then I had a certain friends. Amaretto was definitely a friend. We were kind of both learning at the same time, I think. Though so much has changed since 10 years from now, which is crazy.
And by the way, guys, this is something I don't understand from me inside. Like, I've never been in Amy's position. I'm not trans. I don't understand it from that level. So at a certain level, I'm just trying to understand it the way that you guys understand it. But I think we can all
we use analogies
of empathy and try to understand if I were in a similar position, how would I feel and how would I want people to respond to me? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can only ever be empathetic, and that is, sometimes we know exactly how someone else feels, and so you go, I know what it's like to be hungry.
I've been in that position,
and so I might as well. And sometimes it's almost like you have to use a little bit of I don't know if the word curiosity. Oh my, by curiosity, you have to use a little bit of
intuition.
You can't ever understand what it's like to feel transgender, but you know what it's like to feel awkward about your sexuality, and what it's like to try and figure out who you are. And all of these questions that I think if we just broadened up a little, they become very similar to almost every other life experience.
As I said before, attempted sodomy. I mean, if they'd only given you like another 5 minutes, you could have upgraded that to just full out sodomy.
I know. I feel like I could have been not only successful, I feel like I could have won the game.
If you're going to go to fucking jail, you might as well go there for. You might as well go for the gold, right?
I know. Did I only go there because it was attempted? I feel like if I was successful, would they have given me breakfast? Would it have been?
You would have been there either way, but at least you would have gone there for the gold, not for the silver.
There for the gold, all the above.
For the full sodomy, the full Sodom and Gomorrah treatment, like the treatment he gave those cities when he killed those.
And those guys were nice to me. I keep on saying, I am forever glad that happened, because I got slapped on the wrist. Yes, because I'm speaking sheltered. It was extremely sheltered, and it just showed me that the entire system is full of shit. I learned in that day that everyone in jail, everyone in prison is trying to act tough because they have to act tough because they think the other guy's trying to act tough, so they're acting tough. But on the inside, They all have different. It's almost like a game. It's almost like an act. It's like you have a persona where they're just trying to, if they could get to their family, if they could get to whatever, they could just calm the fuck down and they could be themselves, but they can't. And the security guards, the police, they also have to have this because they have to act tough because they think they're going to get chewed out, that if they don't go in there. And it's all bullshit. It is all a bunch of bullshit. It doesn't make anyone a better human being. It doesn't reform anyone or give them a job trajectory. It does not.
Out of going to jail in the future.
No. If anything, it puts them in a system where you get better at whatever it is you were doing. You get better. Like, it just, like...
If you're a carjacker, you'll get a little bit better at carjacking. If you're committing fraud, you'll be a little sneakier about it.
I cannot stress enough that I was arrested. See, I always see my mom. I can hear my mom in the back of my head being like, "You shouldn't talk about it. You shouldn't talk." Though I am proud of what, like I said, this is all the things that you learn.
I used to tell you shouldn't because of how other people could use it against you. But now I see that how you wear it and how you react to it. So
because it is, there is in that night and that everything, you realize not only how much of the tumbling cards that it is, but how it needs to be reformed, how it actually could be a system where we're a criminal, someone who does a something bad.
Goes out to hurt other people.
I know what I wanted to say. I won't interrupt my point. Where you go in and you get you go, okay, let's say something we all agree is bad is stealing. I steal. Why do you steal? Why do you steal? Well, two different reasons why people tend to steal. I steal because
stealing medicine or whatever, or a fucking
so maybe even three. I'll give you three reasons then. They are addicted to something, they need food, or they like the high of stealing. So I think that, I've had a friend once that would steal things. I don't like stealing. I think that it hurts the person. I know, but I know people that say they get a high of it. So then you say,
most people feel that way.
Why exactly? And so you go, okay, well, what if we put you in a job that you like this and it was exciting and blah blah blah, and we'll train you and we'll pay and we'll make sure that when you go out you actually have a skill set and it's a positive skill set. Whatever you do, you go out and you can't use it by stealing things. And so the example I will give you is because of my system, they refused to give us a public defender for a little while, and so I paid the public defender in money. It was illegal. At least for the longest time. It was the same.
Or you paid him
no. I didn't do that. I did, but I'm sure. I had other people. Yes, exactly. It's like other dicks, or I had other people do mine. Exactly. James, I am a lady. Okay. It's a transactionary service. I did that multiple times, and then I gave it to the lawyer.
And that's the thing. Sometimes people think if we mention somebody who has sucked a dick for money or who has paid money to have their dick sucked, no, it's like people think that we're castigating them as like a horrible person or as if it makes it something bad. That's not what we're doing at all. We don't think it should be illegal. We don't think it should be that nobody should be going to jail if you give somebody $50 and you want them to suck your dick and they take the $50, they say, okay, I will suck your dick. Then we don't think that's a police matter.
It is the best product. The best product. Selling orgasms. I'm sorry, but it is
Well, yeah, there
like
you go.
I want to say that if you've ever said the phrase that this ice cream is as good as sex, have you ever tried just sex? It's amazing. And so I feel like
my son's mother had a friend who used to say that the Thai food was orgasmic. It was better than sex, and I can say that I've had Thai food. I've had pad Thai. It's good. Would I want to cut my nuts off to keep eating it? No, I'm sorry. It's good,
but it's not
as good as
off.
Yeah.
It's not as good as sex.
Castrate myself for it,
James. I don't know. I've had some bennies. I had half, not only half baked, which is a good ice cream, which is cookie dough.
Is that the brownie and the cookie
and
dough?
Brownies?
Yeah, the
brownie, but it was peanut butter half baked, and so instead of vanilla, it was peanut butter and chocolate ice cream with brownie and cookie dough.
Well, at that point, fuck it. I'm just gonna weigh like 800 pounds and fuck it. If I die, I die. If I have a heart attack, I have a heart attack.
Exactly. Who's condoning lawlessness? I will say, TM. I like to view myself as I view myself as chaotic good, and so the law doesn't mean a lot to me. I only care about doing the right thing.
Morally, so.
Morally speaking, I will always do the right thing. In my opinion, that oftentimes doesn't always intersect with the law. However, if doing
fine, Sammer. We are. Are you all right? No. We're fine.
I'm feeling pretty good. However, if doing the right thing goes with the law, I guess I'll follow the law. Yes.
Well, I mean, that's why Khalil's in jail, because he broke the law. That's why Smokey is on probation, because he broke the law. And like you've even said, you have been known to exceed the posted speed limit once in a while. You've been known to do it.
I have never. I don't think the only time I ever go the speed limit is when the thing on the thing says like you're about to be photo thinged, and you're
like the police put out the thing, the manual unit that says you're going 49 and a 45.
Yes, but other than that, I go over like I can't even say. Like, I think there's like a Christian here that like not hate watches because they're a lovely human being. But let's just say I had multitude of roommates and one of them was a femboy. The
femboy Christian who sucks dick for watching the show.
They're not. I just don't want to out him to. It doesn't matter to any other.
Don't give any that.
What was I even talking about? They're just very chaotic good. They're a very good dichotomy to them. They only go 7 miles over the fucking speed limit, which is adorable to I think Rachel and myself.
We love Amaretto. She's sweet.
And Amaretto's sweet too.
Absolutely. Good to see you coming back. You already posted the link. Is there nobody who wants to come in?
There is, and I will say I've been counting. So we are at 11. We will go for 10 more minutes if no opposition comes in. We've actually been going for 3 hours, and we've already been streaming. It's been a good stream. But we wanted to at least give people a chance to join if they want. It's also 4 a.m. here, so it's in the middle of the night. But yes. I have a love-hate relationship with police officers because I understand. I'm old enough now to know that police officers are just humans, just like every other occupation.
You have your brother too, who is a police officer. So
yes, and so I am sympathetic to his position. He says that he wants to get out because he doesn't like it being political. He doesn't like. He's tired of.
I think a lot of them are like
that. He just wants to make
I
barbecue.
think a lot of it's that way. Like, look, if somebody is breaking into somebody else's house, yeah, the police need to come and stop that. But I mean, although there are certain cases where they have to respond, but the people don't need to be locked up because they're a danger to anybody else. So it's challenging.
That's funny. Yes, she is doing League of Legends. I'm going to start doing... so go check out Amaretto's League of Legends stream, because we're probably going to head to bed soon.
Amaretto, what'd she do?
She is streaming League of Legends.
Right now?
On Twitch.
Do you know her handle, or?
It is... I can get it. I think it's just Amaretto, so it would be twitch.tv/Amaretto would be my guess. Let me confirm that.
I'll log on just to give her the support.
No, it's Amaretto Roar. Yes, it's Amaretto, but Roar, like RAWR. I'll send it out. There we go. Thank you, Rejos. Rejos beat me to it because he's such a mensch.
Thanks, Rejos.
Yeah, so Creationist, you got 5 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah,
to come in here and prove God.
14, it's 5. It's 5 or 4, not 14.
Yeah. And yeah. James, anything you want to announce?
You have a debate coming up, or you had one? You couldn't find any Christians to do it?
Could not find any creationists, so that debate is put on hold until... And I'm sympathetic to James. Like, he ain't bullshitting James to James. I think we've seen this ourselves. Like...
No, it's apparent. But
creationists they're lightening out. Less meat put in those hamburgers.
It's getting harder and harder to defend from
but James, that has to be a good thing, right? Well, we're gonna have to start doing some conspiracy theory stuff. I guess if the biggest superstition is getting lower, we may have to do some more anti-flat earth. Oh my goodness. Well, we are going to do some evolution. We are going to do some anti-global flood stuff because, yeah, that may be a debate I'm having, so I just want to prepare for it. We'll shout out the Fiverr. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to just do the Fiverr and the Patreon now. That way, once we get to there, I can just be all fast and fancy. So, produce. It's actually been fun and fascinating at Fiverr at Amy Rose Newman. You can see me right there. Produce podcast, show web content. Having a little bit more time, so getting back to people and actually being able to get some more podcasts up there. Go contact me if you have an idea and you want it to come to life in the multimedia world. I am your gal. I have Gizmo who trained me, and he will come on board and show you all the gadgets. And with that, I'm going to also show our Patreon. If you would just like to help the show, then why not help down to our Patreon at patreon.com/Amy Newman, right over there. We're trying to get 200. We still have a little bit of a ways to go, but we passed the 100.
Not much.
So,
almost there.
But we're crossing down. And so if you want to support the show, you can get some unique special perks. I think I'm going to start doubling up on perks, start really trying to figure out ways to get to our supporters and including, like I told James, I think we are going to start to do 1-7. I think I want to do a designated 7 to 9 show a week, 1 midnight show a week, and then maybe a miscellaneous. Who knows when that other time is? Because maybe that means in the summer we do more midnight shows, and that we get a lot of those. But I don't want that. What was happening before, though? What was also happening? I was also taking a class. I was taking 60 hours while taking a biology class. I may take a break from the biology class so I can do multiple teaching, because they may wanted me to teach multiple web and then multiple data courses. Who knows what the world? But what I want to say is this podcast is actually going to be getting larger in content. I want to post more things. I've been putting more effort into doing monologues again because I want to break them up. And if we could ever find creationists, we would do debates. But yeah, I think they're too busy having sex with themselves, apparently. I see Ultimated hanging out on Discord all the time. Sending love, Ultimated, on the Atheist Graveyard channel.
He can't help it.
Can't help it. Thank you so very much, Rejos. It helps. It really does. All the little bit helps because we have all of these not only the keeping the lights on, but then we also want to build and get even more great stuff out there. And all right, James, anything else before I guess we do the final rollout?
No, I think we're ready.
All right. Well, with that, I hope that you all had a great time on this Midnight Ranting, the Warning Signs of Judgment, where we watched a video from the channel Resolved. It sounds like a bathroom product. Like you resolve the issue.
Or
got it resolved.
Pet stains on your carpet.
Yeah, okay, we got it resolved. We got your pet stains out. I'll take it. Where we looked at a video called Setting Up the New Babylon, the Warning Signs of Judgment. For a good time. So good that you could nuke a city or two. Oh my god, I have leftover cities. I'll just nuke them. All right. James, it's good there's no hell. Anyway, I do want to thank... Who do I want to thank? I want to thank everyone. I want to thank my co-host, James W., along with all of the people in chat. Our awesome mods. We gained more today. Welcome on board. Who make this stream so fantastic. And of course, lovely viewers like you who make this channel even possible. Skeptic and Ranting family. If you enjoy the show, please don't forget to like in the algorithm. It is what tells the YouTubes that, hey, this is high quality stuff. I'll have another. Follow on Twitch at twitch.tv/Amy Newman Skeptic. It's kind of funny because it's TV. It's like a trans joke there. Anyway, there's like that's what they called us in the 90s. Or subscribe. Like right down there. Hello. We are getting close to 1,500. We'll throw some sort of party at 1,500 because, James, we don't buy our subscribers. Doesn't it feel good not to buy subscribers? Ooh, something's pinging me. Thank you, phone. But doesn't it feel good?
Almost. Well, yeah.
But It
love our
tends to be
viewers.
a little bit slower. You get the grind of earning each and every person. We thank you, but you don't go down in flames like a certain creationist. Maybe certain creationists. Who knows? Because there are many out there who seem to be buying.
We'll see, right? Soon.
James, we can only give praise to Jesus. Who knows who out there? Anyway, let's just enjoy our lovely viewers. Follow, subscribe. Oh, our bell James, if you've ever been wondering, you're like, oh my goddess, I subscribe to a channel, but none of that content. It's just it doesn't come in our stream anymore. Oh my. Can you do it on my tots? Well, hit that bell icon to all, and then you'll get all of the content. Every new premiere and live stream. Like, hello everyone in chat. In fact, say goodbye to us at the end, and you can be up on screen. You can also join us at the Skeptic and Ranting Discord, the after show party opening up, the link of which is in the description below after the show is done. Along with our fantastic channel members right down there, and with our evolving badge system, if you just click join and help just a coffee's cup worth, you can get our evolving badge system. Not just colors, but it actually evolves. And so that you can trigger the creationists. And you can join the girl deck, of course, by getting 2 out of 3 of our support programs, sending love to our followers on Twitch, but also by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/Amy Newman and earning yourself some unique perks by becoming a supporter. I am Amy Newman, and we will see you both on the next episode of Skeptic Ball Z. Good night, everyone. Mwah.